We have 6 spots left in ASL. And just about as exciting about who is going to qualify is who is being eliminated here on day number 2. Taking a look at our next group in Group 6, our finals. Very interesting one. Movie. A very well-known pro for a very long time, a Protoss player, going up against Skay. I have casted a ton of Skay games on ArtosisCasts. He is really, really good, in very good shape right now. Quite an underrated Terran. So that would be a big deal for him to get into ASL here. Looking at who they went through shows just how strong they both are in this matchup. Look up here. Skay took out Free already. Free has been pretty solid for a long time. Like, he's, obviously one of the 6 dragons. Unfortunately, Free not going to make it this season. Earlier on in this bracket, I think that this is pretty funny. Remember BCM, who eliminated Queen and who eliminated Hero on day 1? Here he is. Guess what? Took down 815. 815 is our super, super cheesy pro that occasionally makes it in. But that is so funny, man. BCM is just the Zerg killer. Dude, you'd need to open pool first against him and you'll never lose. What are these people doing? Anyways, looking at the bottom side of the bracket, Movie actually took out Mong. Mong has extremely strong Terran versus Protoss. So that is a big victory for Movie here. 2-1 over Mong. He also won a PvP against this guy who's very strong. I don't know what to call him, but we see him all the time. So a pretty strong bracket overall. Kind of sad to see Mong go, Free go, 815. Of course, BCM, I don't think he'll ever make it in unless you just give him all the best Zergs in the world in a row. Maybe he could make it in, but that's about it. But yeah, that's going to do it for that bracket and for some of these players. Skay vs. Movie should be a really, really nice match, and I'm excited to see it. So getting into it, here we are, Game 1 on Radeon. Top right, we have Movie, and bottom left, we have Skay. Now, it shows that in ACS, he got 2nd place. Yeah, anyways, I believe that was 2nd place that I saw there. But Skay has done very, very well. Just, I guess, in the games that I've seen. He doesn't have, like, some great, like, ASL performance or something like that as of yet. He's done very well in, like, CNSL, on ladder, and all that. I've definitely played him quite a few times. He's a very strong Terran player, so I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do here against Movie. Movie is a real Protoss player. He has pretty darn strong Protoss versus Terran. It looks like he's going to be going for Nexus first here, cross spawn, and there you go. Did I not just say he's a real Protoss player? Yeah. So cross spawn Nexus first is going to be pretty strong. I don't know what Skay's going to open with here. Oh, he's going to go Gases Expand, I think. Probably. We don't know 100% yet, but we will in a second. But that would be probably the best thing that he could come up with here. That would be. No, he is getting the gas, but that is a very fast 11 gas. Now, we don't know which Nexus first Movie's doing. If he does the cannon version, this could be pretty bad for Skay. Like, Skay has... The thing is, it's completely okay to go for 11 gas in this matchup. It makes your factory a good, 5 to 8 seconds faster than a 12 gas. And one thing to mention is, like, let's say that you're in close spawns and you go for 11 gas factory. You'll, against Nexus first, if they don't go for a cannon expansion, you'll have a Vulture in their natural before they have a Dragoon. So that's kind of like, it's like a little bit of a hedging build against Nexus first, where you don't necessarily have to go Marine SCV Vulture all in, but instead you can just pop a Vulture out, chase the probes away. Maybe you get a probe, maybe you get a couple probes. But you can definitely, like, slow their mining time, slow their probe production a little bit with this build. So right now it's an End Scout here from Skay. I think the most likely case here, because he is End Scouting, going to the 2 close spawns first, is he'll just probably go Command Center. off of like 3 Marines and making a Vulture. But hopefully he sends that Vulture across the map. Movie right now has added a secondary gateway, so we see now that he is in fact not going for the Forge, which means that there is some potential from Skay to get damage with that first Vulture. The probe is really diving hard right now, and he sees, okay, a 3rd Marine being made and a Vulture. That doesn't actually tell him that much, because since Skay hasn't scouted him yet anyways, that's just standard whether you're going to expand or you're going to attack Movie here. And also, we don't know if Movie is actually making Zealots right now, which is important. Okay, there's one Zealot we just saw, and he scouts this. He gets hit by the Zealot and blocked. Now, this will be interesting. Sometimes Protoss players will full wall here. Let's see what he does. And by the way, yeah, you can see how tight the timing is. This is cross spawn, so it's a little bit harder to get that Vulture up in time. Oh, that was a very good juke. So he's going to actually see the tech that it is 2 gates. And look, the Dragoons are just about to get out, and he'll get, yeah, it looks like he should get 2 probes. He's really avoiding being surrounded here. He really wants the Vulture. He's going to get 3 probes. Oh, okay. Okay. You don't expect 3. You don't expect 3. Like I was saying, you know, the thing is he sacked his probe there, so he didn't know exactly when the Vulture was getting out. Sometimes people sit the probe in front to watch to see if a rush is coming, but he sacked the probe going up the ramp. I think that was probably a slight mistake because maybe he could have pulled the probes back. I don't think it's worth the extra mining to lose 3 probes there. Obviously, you should have canceled that probe that was about to pop as well. But anyways, you know, it is what it is, and here we are. It's going to be like a 3-worker advantage. Not that bad. Not that bad for Skay. You know, sometimes these Nexus first builds, like imagine he hadn't killed those 3 probes. We'd be up like 5-6 probes right now. It would be rough. But Skay has his mines now. He still has this Vulture. He's going to be able to lay these mines out. And this game should just kind of like proceed as a pretty normal game overall. I'm interested to see the way that both sides want to play it. Like, is Movie going to take a very fast 3rd here? Or is he possibly going to tech up on 2 bases? I would say, like, in my opinion, the strongest thing about Nexus First is how quickly they can take the 3rd base. And they just scale up really quick. Nothing is really that scary about 2-base Protoss. If you just hit all your benchmarks, 2-base Protoss will never get you. Right? Like, you know when you need your turrets and stuff, even if you can't scout them. 2-base Protoss is not that fearsome. But once they get up to 3-base, it gets pretty crazy. Now, this is... If he goes Nexus pretty quickly here, in my opinion, again, this is one of the best things that you can do after Nexus First. Just get a very, very fast 3rd base, continue to grow that probe count, and just power up really strongly so that your mid game is basically unbeatable. Now, Skay has decided to go for a push. He's going for a 3 siege tank push with mines and speed. He'll start siege as he moves out. This is a very reasonable play. I think there's a very good chance here he gets a big punish because Movie has no idea what's going on. There's a few mines around, and he's in an anti-drop position. So, like, for instance, if Skay dives immediately upon the 3rd base, he will kill it. And in fact, I think Skay can actually go to the front and get damage as well. So there's multiple choices here that he's going to have to make. Now, notice how he's going directly up in a straight line. He's avoiding an incoming observer. He knows the timing of everything so well. You can see what type of shape Skay is in. You see that purple thing in the middle of the map? I'm going to circle it. See this? That's an observer coming across the map. And he knows that, and he knows that it's going to be coming at this time, so he's gone up at an angle where the observer should not be able to scout him. This is going to catch Movie completely off guard. This is perfectly executed from Skay. He is 100% dialed in right now. Look at this. Lays those mines. That's going to make it a slower flank and a flank he's going to see coming up. He's actually going to dive onto the natural. So he's actually looking for like massive, massive damage instead of a guaranteed Nexus kill. We'll see if that pays off for him. That can be a scary choice to make. I'm actually nervous for him. I think Movie's going to be fine because he got a... Like, Skay might have gotten a little bit too greedy here. Well, the way that Movie just attacked there, that was a little bit rough. I think Movie does have to sacrifice this wall so he has the right surface area coming down. That's going to buy Skay a little bit more time. He's going to get some good mines laid down. you know, in front of those siege tanks and everything. He's actually got a lot of Marines as well. Yeah, he's got to deny this bunker from going up for sure. So he kills that SCV. Very well done. Yeah, killing one of those mines as well is quite smart. Inches the siege tank up. You know, eventually Movie is going to jump on this. And again, like I said, I think you have to sack the wall because it's just in the way. I would have loved if he maybe made 2 zealots here, but he's got so many dragoons against only 2 siege tanks. I think he can just break it. Oh gosh, the bunker's actually going to finish. He's like waiting a really long time here. Skay going up to 4 factory. Dude, Skay's keeping his money down. He's mostly hitting his depots. He looks very good here. The missile turret's coming up. Very nice. Okay, he's going to drop zealots in the back here. Ooh! Okay, that mine didn't do quite as well as I thought it would, but as you can see, it's only 2 siege tanks. So even though this is like pretty cost inefficient for him, just breaking through here, he didn't lose a nexus. He lost some pylons, he lost some units, a shuttle, you know, he lost the observatory, but none of that is really game ending. These vultures at the 3rd base doing a really good job though. I do have to say, I think that might have been a little bit greedy from Skay. I don't think that you can convince me that what he did there is better than guaranteeing a 3rd Nexus kill. Yeah, like I'm going over it in my head. I'm pretty sure guaranteeing a 3rd Nexus kill is much better than that. Like, yeah, you know, he did end up getting some probes there at the end, which is nice. Again, 2 pylons, observatory, bunch of units, but he lost all his units as well. Yeah, I really think he should have just killed the 3rd base, which he did know. He checked it with the vultures. Like, and the thing is, that was really well executed. Skay is playing really, really well, and I don't think he's lost this game at all. I just think that it probably would have been better damage to guarantee a Nexus kill. So the game is going to progress pretty normally from here, I think, because Skay is making that 3rd command center, so there's no real, like, timing attack coming up. Arbiter tech on the way. And I think if Movie just plays really, really normally here, takes his 4th base, gets his Arbiters going, takes a 5th base, takes a 6th base, that type of play, we should get into a really big game. Because I can't see any time where Skay has, like, a timing attack coming up. Also, we'll take a look at those workers. Hopefully, Skay does produce a few more workers here. He's only on 54, which is, like, it's fine for right this moment in the game, but definitely he needs, like, 10 more SCVs to really build out his economy and macro as he needs. A DT has been mixed in. It's kind of cute. Hey, get a couple SCVs. Okay. I like that. That'll still be somewhat useful somewhere else, I think. Nice little use of a DT. I tell you, actually, that's something I feel like is maybe a missed opportunity for some Protosses. You know, Arbiter is still somewhat popular. It's actually become a little bit more popular lately, I've noticed. I'm not sure why that is. Like, I understood when everyone was 5 and 6 facting, but then that kind of died down a bit. But I feel like Arbiter's still being used a bit. Maybe it's just like a holdover from that. But anyways, a lot of players that go for that Arbiter don't end up making a DT. I think making 1 DT is like really, really nice. You can definitely kind of rotate it around a little bit, you know, have some uses for it. It can do a little bit of scouting, just be annoying for Terran. Oh, wow. He actually finds the Dragoons kind of stuck. You see those 2 little pillars there? You never really think about those doodads. Doodads just being, you know, things on the map. Look at that. Oh my God, he backs up into even more mines. That's crazy. But still Movie way ahead in supply. 150 against 120 right now. Skay starting to push out a little bit. Would love to see Skay try to secure a 4th base as quickly as is reasonably possible from here. He's done a great job producing his workers. He's actually gone for a 3rd add-on, which is nice. We see the science facility there, so he can continue into 2-1 upgrades. Movie has like a nice, big, strong army, and we saw him add a 2nd Stargate, so he's going to go heavy Arbiter. Now, I do not want to see Movie attack. If Movie attacks into this, it is the worst move you could do. The worst move. He needs to just mass up and take another Nexus. Like right now, he's got this army that's like very, very mobile, and he's got the threat of Arbiters. You know, Arbiters are just very solid. You get a good recall off, it's amazing. A nice stasis can be great. There's all sorts of things that you can utilize them for, and just, you know, the annoyingness of the cloak kind of really makes Terran be very careful, cross all their T's, dot all their I's. But if he throws his army away right now on 4 base, that is, I think that's going to be like the weakest thing he can do. I just want to see another Nexus. And in fact, I think I see a probe, maybe? Or no, that must be a Zealot in the top left. Yeah, that was a Zealot. Okay. There was a Zealot that went to clear top left. So I think he is definitely thinking about that 4th base. Oh, never mind. Skay has like the same supply as him. What was this? What was this? He's like, hey, you're completely entrenched. I should attack. A real Protoss player, folks. Completely entrenched position. Great macro from Skay. Only 4 base from movie, so he can't remax. On 5 base, you remax like infinity times. 4 base is really great for having a big army. Not for sending it in. So, I mean, that was a terrible attack. Say what you will. Say that I'm biased against Protoss or something, but that was a terrible attack. It was a terrible idea. If we just look at it from first principles, there is absolutely no reason to attack there and no reason why it should work. So that was just not a good idea from movie. And now Skay is moving out onto the map. Not taking a 4th base. It looks like he wants to counterattack. It makes sense. He just destroyed a gigantic army. And he got a lot of the units to pull back due to that dropship, so he knows that he doesn't have to fight the army the whole way. The army's going to have to come back out to meet him. Interesting. He's kind of slowing down a little bit. He's playing very carefully here. Very, very carefully. You know, he has 3 comset scanners. I feel like if Skay here kind of located where the army's at, he could really quickly move to kill that 4th base. All right, so he does siege up. He takes out that cannon really fast. Gonna target this Nexus down as well. And I think if he kills this Nexus and then backs up, that's going to be like the perfect play for him. We have a little counterattack from movie going towards that 3rd base. He is going to go ahead and flank that. There is another army that looks like it was going to poke in towards the possible 4th base location for Skay. Yeah, this army's just getting cleaned right now. Skay at more supply than movie at the moment. Going to be on even bases here. Yeah, he's killing everything. Movie's dead, man. I got to tell you, like, I think obviously Nexus first was a good strong opener from him. I think he handled the push well. I think his tech route was cool. His probe production was strong. His 4th base timing was good. His 3rd base timing was good. Those are things that movie did well. Since then, since he got himself an army together, that there's been blunder after blunder here. Okay, he is going to recall into the main. It's a very small recall. You do have to be careful about things like this. It looks like Skay's just going to counterattack. This does give movie a little bit of potential here. If he slows this down, if he happens to kill the army that's on him, I don't think he will. Like, I think this... Oh, a secondary recall. Okay, well, there's 2 recalls for you. We're in a bit of a base trade. The units coming out of the factories cannot kill this. So this is now officially a base trade, which actually might favor movie here. Because there's just... You're not going to really be able to make more units unless he just keeps losing units of those 2 tanks on low ground. Skay is killing the 3rd base. Those couple of low ground tanks actually ended up killing so many units. Yeah, Skay's going to send back. Looks like another recall is going to go off, but yeah, this one's not going to do it. To win this game, it needed to be like a focus of staying on top of factories, because then you just prevent any more units from being made, and then you just have to kill the main army. But I feel like he messed that up a little bit there. Decent counter recalls. But Skay killing both the Nexuses and still having all his command centers and still having these factories, I think he just cleans up from here because Movie just doesn't... I mean, look at him. He's on 29 probes. He's barely mining, losing everything. Yeah, that should be a game 1 victory there for Skay. I hope we go into the other games. Like, I really, really would like to watch the entire best of 3 here between Skay and Movie. Tries the MP, but it dies before it hits. GG, Skay wins game 1. Okay. Game number 2 here on Dominator. We have Movie down at 6 o'clock-ish, and top left is Skay. Love that spawn for TVP. Really, really fantastic mining there. So, again, like, I think Movie started with a little bit of an advantage there, but Skay played really well against that. Yeah, and the actual Vulture getting in, like, when Movie sacked the probe, that wasn't a great timing to sack the probe because you can't actually tell what's going on, so I think he probably should have just left that in front. Then maybe he can save additional probes when the Vulture's coming out and he sees how quick it is. But yeah, honestly, it all comes down to that attack. It's like the most entrenched position ever. He's like, I'm going to attack, move that. I'm going to cast 1 stasis and go. And it's just like, okay, well... It's clearly not the right move. Absolutely clearly. We'll see if he can do a little bit better in this game. You know, Movie's been in ASL before. Skay, I don't think Skay has actually been in ASL, if I'm remembering correctly. You know, we're on season 19 right now. A lot of different players. Occasionally I get this wrong and someone will have gotten into like 1 season. Like, I think I mentioned that Yoon wasn't in, but he actually was in one time or something like that, and I got called out, so sorry about that. Occasionally I will kind of forget, but I'm pretty sure Skay has not been in ASL yet. But he's like, yeah, I'm like 99% sure he hasn't been in there. I'm generally better at keeping track of the Terran players. What can I do? But I would love to see him in there because he really is of such a high level right now. Okay, so looks like pretty standard openers. I actually wasn't paying super close attention to the timing of that gas. I guess I can look at it now. So it finishes at 2 minutes. Yeah, that was an 11 gas as well, wasn't it? So yeah, he's going to try to get that factory up super, super fast. But this is not a Nexus first opener, so it shouldn't really affect Movie too much. It looks like he'll probably go Dragoon first. Yeah, let's see the timing of this. He actually started saying a depot right away. Look at that, 225. Yeah, that's the mining of that position. That you can go like 11 gas and start your depot before the factory. 11 gas builds, you have to start the depot after the factory. But that's literally out of every map, that is the best mining position of any map in the map pool. It's wild how much the arrangement of the minerals matter in StarCraft 1. I tell you, I like it. It took me many years to sit down and learn how to really utilize that, but it's like, it just adds this whole other level of like, oh, this is interesting. You can do this a little bit differently here because of this. And it's like the infinite depth of StarCraft continues. Okay, so probe coming up to scout. Ooh, nice catch there. Hey, Movie tries to turn around. 2 fact! Oh my god! And he had already started that, I think. He had already told that to start before the probe died. This is going to be rough for Movie, I think. Oh, he's going 2 gate. Okay. Okay, let's go. Oh, that's exciting. You never see these builds line up. Now, as you get down here and we're at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Oh my god. I can't believe he got in there. Skay is really far ahead now. So, in my opinion, 2 factory is a higher quality opener than 2 gateway. Like, you have much more play. And if you know and they don't know, 100%. Like, Skay is really ahead here. Movie going for a 2-gate range build. It's actually a reasonable build on this map. 2-gate range. Like, you know, you really have to take it super, super seriously. And there's all sorts of follow-ups. There's DT follow-up and there's 3-base follow-up for the 2-gate range opener. And there's actually... there's also a very, very stupid mass speed lot opener or follow-up. Anyways, all that aside, just the fact that he got that SCV in and saw what Movie's doing, it's brutal for Movie, and he knows it. He's like, ah, damn, he knows. But seeing those 5 Marines, I think Movie is, yeah, seeing that many units right now, he's like, oh, okay, this is, it could be FD Terran, but it definitely could be 2-Fact as well. 2-Factory is actually kind of rotated in the metagame a little bit at the pro level. Like, you actually see the pros try it occasionally as just a mix-in build. Definitely have seen Speed do it a few times recently. It's been out of the meta for a really long time. It just hasn't been popular at all since Remastered came out at high levels. But yeah, I think Movie's pretty aware of what's going on. And this is some good solid micro. As long as he doesn't back up into his Spider Mine, he should be pretty good. He starts the Nexus. I think that's great timing on the Nexus. Oh, that's brutal. Oh. If I'm Skay right now with those 2 mines where he just laid that, seeing the Nexus, oh my god, and he's walked into my mines, I'm like, all right, Dragoons for dinner. Yeah, I think Skay is literally just gonna go kill Movie now. Look at this. He's dealing so much damage to his economy. He's causing so much lost mining time. The goons walked into a mine. They're so low on health. He's dead, man. Movie is not going to be making it into ASL. It is really hard to imagine him winning from here. And Siege is on the way. We already know mines are out. We just saw Speed. The machine shop is spinning. So he's getting Siege. He's gonna kill the Nexus. He's gonna take the high ground. Like, you have 2 goons. He has literally 2 goons against 2 tanks, like 3-4 Marines, Speed Vultures running out with mines. Like, you could take out any one unit there. He could have no Marines or no tanks or no Vultures, and he would still kill this Nexus. You can do anything here. Movie is in the most trouble you can be in. He is super, super dead. All right, here we go. Honestly, I think if you make a bunker and just siege up and push really slow, it is an unlosable position for Skay. And I think there's a lot of ways you could play it too. Like, I could see at home going Starport or Command Center here. Both, I think, would be very strong. Starport, because the only counterplay he could ever have here would be shuttle-based. And Command Center, because you're so far ahead, you can just expand. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure of win, as Tasteless would say. Yeah, yeah. Movie is trying to hold on at the moment. The bunker coming up. That's actually a really interesting bunker position. There's the shuttle. But he's like warping gateways, but they're dying so quick. You actually... Yeah, the siege tank is within range of the mineral patches. GG is called, and Skay gets into, I think, his first ASL ever. Big congrats to him. Movie, unfortunately, not able to make it. Okay, time for some bracket updates. Not every group is ready right now at the finals, but let's take a look. So Group 5 is ready in the finals, and we're going to have Leda going up against Shuttle. So one of Leda and Shuttle will make it in. I do think Shuttle is probably favorited there. He definitely played a very nice game earlier in the tournament that we got to cast. Looking at their walk up to this level, this match here, very, very cool. So Leda was able to take out MC, the boss toss. Great to see MC making top 4 twice. So he is really getting into great shape. And I think once he actually gets into ASL consistently, that is only going to help Brood War to continue to grow. One of the greatest personalities in StarCraft history. MC actually had quite the run here as well. He took out Ride Sky. So unfortunately for Ride Sky, once again, not going to be in the ASL. Looking at some of the other players, Fresh had a great run. Fresh is just a strong amateur Protoss player. He did end up losing to Shuttle here. But Fresh did take out Organ or Piano 2-1. So that is pretty impressive. Great job to him. Unfortunately, Organ, yeah, I've mentioned before, I don't think he's going to be able to make it in the future. I think he's just... Time has passed him by a little bit. He'll have some decent runs, but probably not into ASL. So very exciting seeing these up-and-coming players do well. And Shuttle versus Leda is definitely going to give us an interesting and fun player in that next round. Looking at another group that has made it to the finals, it is going to be Hyun going against TY. Hyun, of course, having some great success in StarCraft 2. Hasn't really found that success as he's returned to StarCraft 1. Obviously, TY having even more success in StarCraft 2 and a bit more in StarCraft 1. I do think that's probably going to be TY favored a little bit, but definitely another fun player going to be making it in. Great to see these returning StarCraft 2 pros playing so well. Looking at who they went through here, this is KOP. So KOP, he's a well-known amateur Terran player. He's been really active lately, so good to see him having a pretty solid run, even taking a game off of TY. Looking down here, this is Hyuk, obviously a very famous Zerg from the T1 days, losing 1-2 to Hyun. So Hyun takes down Hyuk. This guy's just like a good Zerg amateur. Goes by like Judge a lot of the time. But and of course he took out Su, another great StarCraft 2 player that's trying to make it. So kind of a fun bracket. Lots and lots of StarCraft 2 guys in here. Now, this is the most exciting bracket that we have had by miles, and it's not complete yet. Hammer awaits someone in the finals. Hammer is not very well known. He was a pro gamer back in the day. I never really followed him back in the day, and I didn't even know he was active until this tournament. So good job on him. He had not an easy route. He had to take down Fleta, who has been practicing like crazy, but that's not the strongest guy he took out. He took out Shine. Shine is not going to be an ASL. It is a bit of a heartbreaker since he made it to the finals on day one, which is generally harder, but looks like he didn't have a good series here against Hammer, and Hammer does make it up to that finals. Now, all that's all good and exciting, everything, but this here, this is what we actually care about, okay? This is Scan going up against Yabsab. Yabsab is a Zerg player that's been coming up about the same time as Scan, but of course Scan is the hero. 100% we are supporting Scan. Scan is supposed to get through here. We really hope that he makes it. Yabsab did not have an easy run. He actually beat Pianist earlier on, who had a very good run yesterday in the bracket. But go Scan. Oh my God, I hope he makes it. All right, Group 10 is kind of amazing and hilarious. We have JYJ awaiting the finals. No big surprise to see him make it up there. He actually had to eliminate Saber, who has been training really hard lately. Ended up taking him down 2-1, so that would have been a great match to see. Looking up here, though, we have Park Soo Bum against Kim Bum Soo. Bum Soo against Soo Bum. This is Tyson here, and this is Noob. So two Protoss pros going at it, a pretty even, pretty good matchup. I would put them about the same level. And it wasn't super easy, actually, for Noob to get here. He had an incredibly hard bracket. Looking back here, this is Dashik. Dashik was in ASL a few seasons ago. I want to say around ASL 15 or something. So a very strong Zerg that he was able to 2-1. And in the first round, we finally had the grudge match that I have been waiting for. Noob against Noob. There are two Protoss, basically pros known as Noob. This Noob has always been a little bit better. This is like, this guy goes by Dick Noob 13. This guy just goes by Noob. Okay, and so he did win 2-1. So as far as I'm concerned, this Noob has to call himself by his other ID, which is Stone. Please don't call yourself Noob anymore. It's too confusing having two players with the exact same ID. Okay, so right now, JYJ awaits the winner of Tyson and Noob up there in the top part of the bracket. All right, now this group is kind of the furthest behind. We do not have anyone in the finals as of yet. Up here at the top, we have Calm, who has recently... Maybe a year ago, he was #1 on the ladder and did make it into ASL. I don't believe he made it last season, if I recall correctly. I believe this player he's against is actually Terror, who is, he's obviously a StarCraft pro, but more of a big-time streamer in Korea, and so is Calm. So, like, I'm sure that's a very popular match. In fact, I believe that's what we're going to be casting next. Down here, though, this is even more exciting. First off, I falsely reported, I think, that Harangi was out of the tournament because we saw someone with that ID that lost in a bracket, but this is Harangi's name. So I think this is him. I believe this is him here. And since he's in a top 4, it kind of makes sense. Now, his opponent, this is making me look so good for the cast I did right before here. This is Cal. Cal, who has just returned to the game, one of the 6 dragons. Very, very exciting. And he actually had to beat Bako here in the previous round to get through Bako, an old Protoss Pro as well. So a PvP and a ZVZ. Honestly, I have no idea how this is gonna go down. I feel like anyone can get out of this group. All right, so yeah, this is going to be exactly as anticipated. Of course, no one using anything that even looks like a real ID here, but we are going to have Calm versus Terror. Terror is the Zerg up at the top. Here, you know what? Terror. Oh, wow, I am just... That's Terror. This is Calm. Probably won't leave that there. That looks absolutely awful. But yeah, those are the players that we are looking at here. And it's a ZVZ. It looks like Calm won the first game. Not a big surprise. I think everyone would agree Calm is a bit better than Terror. Both of these guys, it's funny because you have like all these pros that are like really good and get into ASL and stuff, and the other pros make fun of them for being bad. That's just the way things are, you know? That's just the way the world works. But Calm, like for instance, Terror, they're both kind of teased by the other pros as not being as good. That happens to Shuttle a lot as well, even though obviously Shuttle has great results, even in ASL champion. But yeah, that's like, I don't know. I find it really funny. Everything's relative, right? So anyways, they're both going for 1 hatch plays here. So could just come down to like some very aggressive Mutalisk micro. And we'll see how that ends up going. But yeah, this is a round of 4 match, so it's not like really as important. You know, the winner of this will face the winner of, I believe, Harangi and Cal. I'm just so excited that Cal might actually just randomly get... It's like, I find out he comes back, and then like 5 days later, he's in ASL. It's like, what? But yeah. Anyways, no need to talk about that right now. There's a lot for him to get through. Harangi is probably in better shape than he is, and so is Calm. So I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be fun. Okay, so right now both sides going ahead, popping out their lings. We should be seeing some layers getting going here as well. Zergling speed is being created. Tries to sneak his lings out and around. That is Terror there in that top left area. And he is getting that Zergling speed, but it's a much quicker layer here for Calm. Calm gonna, yeah, this is like the soul key tactic. When something like this is happening, you send 2 lings out to the side, and during the frantic pace of a battle, you send the 2 lings in to try to kill drones. And sometimes you can get a drone or 2, and you just pull way ahead like that. So he's made the Zergling conga line here. Not perfectly. He had 1 not on hold position, so he took a bit of extra damage. But basically, as Calm here, you're looking to make sure that they do not get good surface area on you. Unfortunately, Terror does break through with this, and he does have the Zergling speed upgrade. Terror has some potential here. Like, you have to pull some drones to fight. This is a little bit rough. Like, you know, he basically has, like, 1 less drone, but for that, he has all this pressure with these lings. Calm just kind of messed up on that Zergling conga line at the bottom of the ramp there. You need to have that on hold position and really utilize that. But Terror hitting the pool. He's trying to force him to come out. Now, here's the counterattack that really can change the game. So he kills 1 drone, so now he's up 2 drones, which is huge. Zergling speed finishes up here for Calm. Oh, God. He got another drone. It's 6 drones to 10. Wow, he got even more than that. Yeah, you got like 3 drones with those 2 lings. Yeah, so that's Calm. Calm has basically just won the game, I think. 3 lings against 2. There are some more lings coming and everything, but if he just makes lings nonstop, it's 6 drones against 9 right now because he starts his Spire. Like, it would be hard to be in a worse position than this as Terror. Your opponent has 50% more economy than you right now. It's so funny how few workers ZVZ sometimes has. I guess the Spire's a little bit quicker, so maybe there's still some potential right there. Yeah, actually, to be fair, that is something to note. Drones coming out to fight. Dude, he just does not have as many lings. Terror doing an okay job here. Ooh, gets a pick. Going after that pool. I tell you, it would be good for Korean viewership if Terror makes it in. Terror is a very, very popular streamer. You know, we have a few of those guys that are super popular that are Brood War guys. GG, and Terror wins that game. Okay, guys, we're doing it again. Magenta Zerg, bottom right. That's Terror. And Calm going to be our Teal Zerg in the top right. So tied up 1-1. Who knows? It's kind of crazy. Obviously, you still have to get through a strong Protoss here. But yeah, that would be kind of a big thing for the league, I think. Well, they're both, again, popular streamers, but Terror is definitely more popular. You know, some of there are a few Brood War guys that have kind of expanded beyond there. Of course, C is one of them. Terror is one of them. Brittany, one of the very biggest ones. These are all just like... Well, C was a very strong Brood War player. Rain has been getting very popular. And all these guys are like streaming more than just Brood War. Whereas you have someone like Flash, and I'm like, well, I mean, occasionally Flash will play a different game. Like, he played some StarCraft 2 and stuff and whatever. But, like, for the most part, he's just a StarCraft streamer, right? Anyways, you know, that is something that's kind of fun that you can get more viewership because it is these, like, more popular, like, broader interest players. Although at the same time I'm watching this, I'm like, Shine's not going to be an ASL. I got my pouty face on. All right, so, yeah, they're both going once again for that very kind of aggressive one-hatch play. We'll see if Terror once again goes for Zergling speed or if he wants to go for the quicker layer this time. The Overlord here of Terror is going to find Calm first, which I guess is nice. Going to be able to see exactly which build order he's up against. And there's the speed upgrade on both sides. All right, both sides getting speed, so Calm doesn't want to be caught off guard by that again. And, of course, this is not a reverse ramp, but a proper ramp, and it has those eggs at the top on Deja Vu. So those eggs will make a smaller surface area for the Lings to have to hold. So it is a little bit easier to hold on than Dominator is. There's quite a few Lings being made here on both sides. Trying to push back Terror's Lings. Or Calm's Lings, sorry, that's Terror's Lings pushing back Calm's Lings. Yeah, Terror's making a lot of Zerglings. He's one drone behind right now. That does translate to 2 more Zerglings. It looks like his speed finishes first. So he actually gets up there and gets really good surface area. Uh-oh. Calm's actually in a lot of trouble. Did he cancel speed? I think he did. Sometimes you cancel it to be able to make, like, extra mutas later on. Dude. Uh-oh. Calm in some trouble here. Does have that quicker layer. Okay, you know what? His speed just finished, so it looks like he maybe just started his speed a bit later. Calm is in a bit of trouble, though. Gets that Ling. That's a big deal. Oh, Terror taking a little bit of damage there, but does deal a little bit of damage back. That was a good drone pull as well. Puts a little bit more on. Okay. I think Calm has stabilized this completely. You just kind of need to get into a nice hold position here. You're going to see him try to adjust his Lings. Terror is still just making nothing but Lings right now, which makes sense. Like, he just wants to break through. This actually happens a lot where you see like 2 Zergling lines on either side of the ramp. He's like, you can't come out and I can't come in. See? He was trying to slip out but got caught. Okay. So equal on drones right now. I don't know the exact timing of the spires in comparison to each other. There's one. Okay, they're almost exactly lined up. And it looks like there is a 1 supply advantage, which means that there's 1 extra Zergling right now, I believe, here. Or possibly 2. All right, he actually takes some significant damage there, loses a few lings. Trying to break through. Oh, Terror is going to break through there. 3 lings to 1. That's a big deal. The mutas are being made, though. Just kind of has to be careful with these drones. You do not want to lose a single drone here. Seriously. Oh, that was so close. Oh, he's going to get one. He's going to get that one. Yep. Oh, he got 2. He got 2. Oh, my God. Suddenly, Terror is really ahead. That's crazy. Two drone kills there right at the last second is wild. Look at that. 7 against 9. He has 7/9 of his opponent's economy. Oh, I feel so smart. Okay, so like both sides going to kill overlords here, but you can see like the bank is going to be non-existent for Calm. Calm might have to do something wild, like make a bunch of Scourge because he has so few drones, and then just try to go for it. I'm not sure, honestly. Like, it's such a bad position. Look at how he's mining nothing but gas right now, just about, right? He's got 4 on minerals, the rest on gas. That sounds to me like a recipe for a lot of Scourge. Okay, yeah, he's already got 4 Scourge out. Terror has made mostly mutas. Would like to see him add a few Scourge in here as well. He's got to know that Calm has to go Scourge. Just pure Mutalisk production still. 5 mutas here for Calm. 6 mutas for Terror. All right, you just bought another muta. Calm's got to do it, man. You can't sit here forever mining that much less than your opponent. I think he's looking to maybe catch Terror coming across the map. I think Terror has no interest in that. He's just like maximizing his Mutalisk count the entire time. Kind of makes sense when you think about it. Yeah, he's got 8 against 4. The Scourge have to do a magic job here. Yeah, I think Calm's out. I think that's it. It's like, wait a minute, what? 6 against 4, and he's running, but they do have a little bit more damage. You know what? Calm has done it. Never mind. I can't believe that. He literally had 2 drones left. I guess this is what happens when you just don't make any Scourge. So Calm is going to go to that finals. Terror is out. All right, we are going to the finals of a group 7. So this is TY up at the top, and down at the bottom we have Hyun. Looks like Hyun leads 1-0 right now, so he won their Radeon game. We're jumping in at game number 2. And yeah, I would like to know what happened there, honestly. Like, Hyun is very good, but I feel like TY, I don't know, TY is just such a smart player. I guess we'll see how this one goes. You know, Dominator. Oh, he just went 8 racks. Okay. So he's going to put some pressure on. I was going to say, though, this actually kind of makes some sense because, you know, Dominator, I don't want to be a broken record, but yeah, that main base is really hard to defend against Mutalisks. Not sure what Hyun will end up deciding to do here, but right now, going ahead and, yeah, getting that depot down as well. Just a single 8 racks generally is just for pressure. If you can get 2 drones, you're generally, that's like even to slightly ahead for Terran. Anything below that would be behind against Hatchery first play. So, but, you know, normally it's not like a devastating position one way or the other. Obviously, occasionally you get an 8 racks that does a lot of damage, like Zerg overreacts or underreacts, and like something goes wrong, they micro wrong, something like that, and then suddenly you know, you end up getting 5 drones or something. It's like, well, you're just going to win from there generally. Anyways, sends out his double SCV for scouting, making his first Marine here as well. And we'll have to see how Hyun ends up dealing with this micro-wise. How many drones does he want to pull? And what does that micro look like? Drone kind of going past that SCV. As the SCV approaches, we'll find the hatch. So he's going to want to turn around the other. Yeah, the other SCV coming as well. And Hyun, of course, sees exactly what's going on. So I just heard him cancel the gas. That makes perfect sense. You don't need to worry about getting gas out. You just want to make sure that you're blocking this as cleanly as possible. And I think just from the angle the Marine was coming out, he's probably pretty sure that this is an 8 racks and not like a double 8 racks. All right, so 6 drones. Normally it's 7, I want to say. Oh, wait, no, he does have 7 there now. He brought up 7. In fact, he's bringing up to 8. You just want to kind of stall this out so that you can go ahead and make some Marine or some Zerglings and hold it with that. Okay, he's taking a little bit of damage there, but he is on high ground. Kills an SCV, but loses 1 drone. Gets the other SCV off the bunker. The bunker is just like, you generally don't, the bunker doesn't generally end up doing too much. Okay, he's killed 2 drones. 3 drones! No, what are you doing? Okay, he does end up killing it, but he lost 4 drones here. This, I would say that was not the greatest, like 99% bunker, so like I understand finishing that off, but that bunker is not even in range of the hatchery either. But of course, you know, just a staging point for attacks is really strong. You know, Hyun right now sending these lings up across the map. I don't think he's going to be able to get anything done with that. Yeah, TY just kind of blocks everything off. And yeah, he kills the 1 Marine. You're not, I mean, that doesn't really bother TY too much. More lings coming out. Uh-oh. What is this? Oh my god. Dude, if he oh my god, he got another drone kill. That's so insane. Hyun is trying so hard to break through right here. Like, he may actually just GG from here. Let's see if he actually can get... No, he's not going to get in and kill anything. He has, like, no drones. He lost so many lings. He overmade lings trying to break through. He could GG here, and it wouldn't be weird. Like, I understand staying in the game, obviously. Like, this is so important if you can get an ASL or not, and he won game 1. So he's like, well, who knows? Maybe I can follow up with an all-in, but, like, his position is pretty bad. I would feel completely confident here. His tech is, like, so unbelievably late. He's droning up, like, reasonably well. SCV's coming up here for TY. Yeah, if TY just applies basic pressure... You know, he walks out with Marine Medic, forces some Sunkens, scans to see what's going on so that he has the right tech, or seeing what tech his opponent has. Obviously, we already know what tech TY is basically going to go for. It's just like, Hyun is so far from putting on any good high-quality pressure. Engineering Bay as well as Academy coming up. And, you know, like, I think eventually TY will probably add a 3rd racks just for kind of safety's sake. Kind of like this is like one of those kind of rare, boring moments in StarCraft, I would say, where it's like, yeah, he keeps moving around these Zerglings, but really what we're waiting for is the medics. When the medics come out, you're obviously going to move, and then, you know, the game kind of picks up once again here. So, yeah, he's going to start... Not the greatest scan. He actually missed that just slightly. That, you know, that happens. Starts 3. So he's definitely taking this really, really seriously. I do appreciate 3 Sunkens starting up. Like, he just wants to not die here. I saw a drone over there to the side as well. So it looks like he's probably thinking about hiding kind of an expansion there. All right, that Sunken's already ready. TY trying to stim ahead. to be able to hit those Sunkens before they were done morphing, but that's not going to occur. So Hyun completely safe. There's that third Rax. He has +1 going. He has range going. Hyun gonna kind of hide a third base in like a kind of far away position. Still not a good spot here for Hyun. Still a pretty bad spot, but you know what? He just made a little group of Mutalisks, and he's eventually going to hide that third hatchery. That's going to be kind of a hard one to find. That's pretty far out there, and he's already got 3 Sunkens. I wonder what his game plan is, because, you know, there is comeback potential. Like, you can win from here. It's possible. TY is going to have to make some mistakes, and you're going to have to play very well. But obviously planning this correctly, like the way you want to try to come back, is important. You know, there's different types of tactics for coming back, like hold position lurker would be one. Like, maybe just checking how much Mutalisk damage you get could be another. You know, you could, like, try to mislead him as far as tech goes. Like, you know, maybe you're going for Guardian, maybe you're going for Lurker. Okay, the Lings actually kill a turret at the natural. That's kind of nice. Right now, the Muta's in the main base trying to deal damage. Yeah, a little bit sloppy there from Hyun for a moment. He's trying to cancel out +1 attack. I don't think that would ever happen. He puts a decent amount of damage on there, but he hasn't actually done any damage as of yet. Flying around with these Mutalisks. Like, he's going to look for some more, but TY should be able to keep everything pretty solid. I just saw the armory, and so did Hyun, so he knows that Valkyries are going to be on the way here. So he might want to just go ahead and, like, switch what he's doing. And actually, I don't see that drone at the third base anymore. I'm not sure what happened there. I see a red dot over at the other main, so there's a possibility TY sent a scouting marine that killed that off. That's the only thing I can really think of. There's not a reason why he would withdraw that drone. That would be like a really weird play. But yeah, the mutas are having a very hard time penetrating and getting anything done right now. From bad to worse. Not that many turrets at the natural. Would be probably a little bit easier to break, but you have to go really far around to do that. Another Muta falls for Hyun. TY looking pretty poised right now to be able to take this game and tie up the series. Okay, there's the Queen's Nest. He does have the Hydralisk Den as well. No evolution chamber as far as I can tell right now. Valkyrie is being made. The thing is, even if you get up to the lurkers... That's kind of funny. I wonder why that was started but not going. Huh. But yeah, anyways, even if you get up to the lurkers, you're still on 2 base. Like, if you had a third base, you know, that would be a much more realistic scenario. Now, with only 3 Sunkens, this Bioforce easily destroys 3 Sunkens. Even with these Mutas here, I think there's a very good chance TY just breaks through. Gets an Overlord, which supply blocks. That's even worse. Yeah, starts another. He knows that's not going to finish. Yeah, this is how it snowballs if the 8-Rax does too much damage, for sure. And with the Valkyrie coming in, GG, TY wins game number 2. All right, game number 3 of TY versus Hyun. Now, it's cross-spawn. The map is Deja Vu. Obviously, that 8-Rax kind of made it so that we couldn't really see what Hyun's made out of. I assure you, Hyun is very, very good. Again, I do think TY is a bit better. I think he was a bit better in StarCraft 2, a bit better in StarCraft 1. What can you do? But Hyun did win game 1, and we didn't get to see that. So who knows what that really looked like. And just taking a look at the players that have gotten through so far, you can see it's pretty darn even. 5-5-7 so far. Very, very exciting. And we know already that another Protoss or Zerg will get out of one of those groups. I'm trying to remember what the other group finals were. There's definitely a chance for a very good chance for a Terran to get out of Scan's group. Yeah, so I think we're going to get at least one more Terran. Definitely another Possibly another Terran here as well. You can't convince me that Terran heavy seasons aren't the best. All right, so I'm imagining just kind of a standard game. It looks like it's going to be hatchery first. It looks like it's going to be a barracks expansion there from TY. And we do wait a little bit, obviously, the very early part of the game. Just a few things. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Please do spread the word about the ASL qualifiers. Very, very exciting that I'm able to do this. A big thanks to Soup for sending the clean feeds to me to be able to cast these this season. I've asked every season since we started doing ASL about doing qualifiers, and it's always not been able to work out. But now that it's worked out, I assume it's going to work out forever. Which is amazing. It builds such a better storyline going into the tournament. You know, those of you watching this, as you watch the ASL, the actual ASL cast, you're going to know, like, oh, this is how this guy got here. This is how this guy didn't get here. We already have seen some of these games. I'm also planning on doing some preview videos on ArtosisCasts as ASL approaches to show what the matchups look like that each pro is going to play. So that's a little plan that I kind of have right now. I'm going to, you know, probably not every game will be exactly that, but I'm going to try to mix in as many as possible to try to show, like, oh, like, okay, you know, Stork is going to be playing against a Zerg. Let's do some Stork PVZ and take a look at what that looks like right now. That type of thing. So hope you guys do enjoy that. And thank you again for checking out ArtosisCasts. This is like one of my very favorite things to do. I'm having such a great time just sitting here watching this, talking about it, just having a good time, kind of relaxing while casting. Very, very exciting games. Really great games so far as well. Some really strong players not making it through, unfortunately. But I guess that's how it's got to go. So thanks, guys, and do make sure you subscribe. And, of course, if you hit that notification button, every day at the exact same time, you'll get a notification. Because I always release videos every single day at the same time. Alrighty. So, the SCV does end up falling there. Back at TY's base, he is making his second racks. I wasn't paying super close attention to his build order, but what it looks like to me is a 3 Depot 2 barracks opener. Which is really, really, really safe. Basically, you get your academy a little bit later, but you have lots of Marines. And generally what happens with this as well is your +1 is a little bit slower than all the other builds, but not like a huge amount slower. Honestly, with anything that's academy before eBay, the +1 like is generally ready by the time you're taking like a real big engagement anyways. So yeah, TY right now, you know, just kind of chilling, getting his upgrades, getting that mining down at both bases. Hyun actually takes that pocketed third. So a third base that looks like that generally means aggression. What type of aggression, we don't know. The two, well, there's like, one is a very, very aggressive mutas, which could be either a mutalisk all in, or well, no matter what, it's mutas, right? Okay, so I'm trying to explain this. So the third base he took is not, it doesn't get you into a fourth base, and it's not super easily defendable. There's two different entrances. Whereas if you take another natural, that gives you the easiest fourth, but it's a little bit harder to defend because it's further away. And if you take another main base, that's generally the safest and a reasonably easy fourth base to take because you just push down a ramp with one Dark Swarm. Okay, so that's like if you're going to play a longer game. If you take a base like this that Hyun has taken, generally you're going to stay more aggressive to keep your opponent on their side of the map. This is closer to you, so you can send drones there more easily and just kind of get it mining, and all your units are coming out of the same area. So generally it's something like, okay, really heavy Mutalisk harassment, possibly into a Lurker Contain, possibly into a Guardian rush. Both those can be very, very strong. TY right now, by the way, on just 2 barracks, making his missile turrets already. So we'll see if he adds that 3rd barracks or if he goes directly in the factory. And it looks like he went, I believe he went directly into the factory, or is that the eBay? Yeah, that's eBay. Never mind. Looking at the mini map shapes. All right, the Muta's flying in. He has the right amount for one shot in those SCVs. Ah, loses one, so going to be a little bit harder. Pulls back immediately. Waits for that 7th Muta. Mining from gas. Only 2 so far, but he will get that 3rd. You know, when you have 3 gases like this, you can make 9 Mutalisks a minute. So definitely that can stack up pretty well. But if Terran's holding well and gets into splash damage, you know, that's why it's kind of an all-in. They get into 2 to 4 Valkyries, or they get into some science vessels. That's a lot of units you're going to end up losing. Yeah, continuing to rally up these mutas, keeping some of the lower health ones out. Like, he's really focusing on reducing the SCV count, but TY, you'll notice, is making SCVs non-stop here. By the way, I think TY should not move out. He's moving out right now. I think this is wrong, but I'm not 100% on it. This is a tough situation. So you see he's going to Starport. He shouldn't move any further than this. Like, moving out to here to kind of get the mutas to come out and play with him for a minute is okay. But Hyun should be able to crush that if it stays out or if it tries to move across the map. And TY with only 2 barracks has to be very careful. If he loses this army, you would expect Hyun to be able to win from there because he's not going to be able to get a big enough Marine force to really threaten anything on the map for a very long time. So yeah, I'm very nervous about him being out here. You can see already it's almost halved the size of that army that came out. And just the Marine production is very, very low for TY right now. He really needs those Valkyries ASAP. I think it's just going to be like a Valkyrie timing attack. Probably like 2 to 4 Valkyries and go with whatever you have. Hyun right now has built some buildings at his 3rd base. I'm assuming that's a Hydralisk Den and a Queen's Nest, most likely. Although a Hydralisk Den and an Evolution Chamber could be cool here. Like, I feel like you want to go Heavy Lurker. Okay, yeah, it is the Queen's Nest with the Hydralisk Den. And there is the Hive being made right now. So is he gonna... Okay, this Marine gets in, and this is a very powerful scout. He sees the Hydras. So he's making 2 Valkyries right now. TY is going to have to push out when these 2 Valkyries come out. Since his opponent has Hydras, like, again, if he burrows a bunch of Lurkers in front of this choke, you end up losing the game as TY really quickly. But yeah, these are being morphed defensively. He didn't run them up for that containment. This doesn't look super good for Hyun right now, in my opinion. The Valkyries are out, so his mutas like did do some damage, but it's 40 SCVs, so that's still solid. Yes, there are Lurkers out. I mean, he could catch a hold position Lurker type thing. That would be big. Okay, the Valkyries actually see it, so that's not going to occur. But he runs the Lurkers up. I don't know about that. Oh! All right, he does. Clears those Marines pretty efficiently. That's really, really good. Valkyries have been run away from. Oh, losing this is actually really, really rough. He definitely needs to get quite a few Lurkers out because he's got a lot of different positions to try to defend. Now, the Hive is done. Are we just trying for a Dark Swarm push? Couple more Lurkers. Is he going for the containment strategy? He's like being really aggressive with this. And TY has the right army to hold this off. Kind of. He doesn't have a big Marine count, but... wait, did he lose those Valkyries? Oh, no. There they are. Okay. It's like, where did those things go? The Valkyries kind of negate the Mutalisks for the most part. So as long as he keeps this reasonably in front, he can be okay. Hyun is doing a good job pushing, though. Look at this. He's inching forward all the time. He's really, really focusing on getting these Lurkers into position. Okay, so TY made a very good choice rotating these units out. He must stop a Defiler from getting up here because he does not have vessels. He needs to make something happen. His scans are actually at a big premium. He can't have much scan energy. We've heard a lot of scans so far. Oh, wow. Hyun was backing up with the lurkers. I thought he'd just keep them there. Because, like, you're a few Dark Swarms away in that position from, like, a victory. And you can see TY, he's like, okay, we're going to get the add-on. I might need some tanks. He might even go mines there. Because, like, this is looking and feeling really all in from Hyun. Okay, Hyun comes up and actually surrounds this army. This was a fantastic moment for him. I think Hyun's going to knock him out. This is pretty darn good. There are not many Marines left, and he just doesn't have good tools to deal with lurkers. Look at the amount of lurkers. Like, you can't really deal with that much right now. The Valkyries, you know, this is why I've been talking lately about how Valkyrie builds are mostly all in. Now the Valkyries are gone. He still has mutas, so that's rough. Even if he had killed all the mutas, though, you can't kill these. You can't kill this lurker count. And now he's backing up into his natural. And it's like, okay, yeah, I was going to say Hyun should not attack in there right now. All he needs to do is throw down a Darkstorm. He's going to win. Okay, he did go for siege tanks. But this is going to be so rough. This is going to be so rough. See, TY tries to come out the double Darkstorm so he can't deal any damage there. He's going to explode everything right here in the natural. And by the time that Darkstorm runs out, he will easily have more Darkstorms and continue the push. And look at that. A single Darkstorm on top of the tank. Dude, that's it. TY is not making it this season. How dare I doubt Hyun? And Hyun sets up the lurkers at the natural. You almost never come back from these types of positions. Okay, kills off the Defiler. That's nice. This is like an emergency tactic, loading up dropships. What you do is you load up the dropships behind this push to stop reinforcements coming. The mutas are there, though, and they're mirroring where the dropships are going, so it's just not going to work. TY is super, super dead. He actually unloads, but both of the dropships are gotten. GG is called. Hyun makes it through to the ASL. So sick. All right, we're going to do the Group 5 finals now. It's going to be Leda going up against Shuttle. Don't forget, Leda did knock out MC on the way up here, as well as another Protoss player. So that's pretty good. Shuttle, though, had an absolutely epic PVT yesterday. Who was that against again? That was against Royal. Yeah, that was a great, great match. And look at this. We're in map number 3. So it is tied up 1-1. We have Shuttle down here in the bottom right of Deja Vu. And in the bottom left, we have Leda. Leda has improved a lot in his macro TVP in the last few years. He was kind of a little bit of a joke in TVP for a long time. If you look at the course of his career, he was a very, very strong Terran versus Zerg player who had some good Terran versus Terran plays, but it was mostly cheesy stuff. And then his TVP was a little bit of a walkover. You really need super strong mechanics to beat Protoss. But Light worked with him, and he's definitely gotten better at the matchup. And obviously, he's beaten these strong Protosses to get here. He's already taken a game off Shuttle. Shuttle, if Shuttle would do slightly less bad attacks, he would be just such a killer. By the way, it does look like Nexus First. I feel like Nexus First is getting really, really popular on Deja Vu. Honestly, it should be popular everywhere. You know, I was laughing so hard when that finals where Mini went 5 Nexus First games. the finals against Rush. I'm like, yes, of course, it's the best build. But we're seeing a lot of Nexus First specifically on Deja Vu from these Protoss players. Now, Leda is going to scout him immediately, but Leda's going for a gasless expand. Now, there's 2 different ways that you can handle this. You can make another depot and rally Marines over and try to do some sort of Marine SCV attack, or you can just make your command center. I am really adamant that it is better to just make the command center. You should not try to rally Marines and bunker rush with SCVs on your opponent while expanding. We've seen people try that before in ASL and fail, and I see it tried all the time, and it never works. It doesn't even make sense. Why would you be able to rush your opponent, cutting your economy while expanding, but also don't forget you do have to tech. It's like, what? No, this is not something for Terran to do. He is going to send a Marine, and obviously that makes sense. Like, just send it over and micro it a little bit. But he has made the command center really quickly, so these builds are close to even. It matters which build Shuttle does here. If it's just like a 1-gate core, nonstop probes, yep, it's a slightly better build than for Shuttle. And, you know, the thing is, it's playable. Everyone's played against Nexus First so many times now that you kind of just learn how to play a little bit differently in these situations. Like, they're going to have a little bit more than you thought. But yeah, it is just going to be that 1-gate, and basically what it is the 1-gate. If your opponent went for a factory expand and goes for a Marine Vulture SCV push, you lose the Nexus 100% of the time with 1-gate. And you're making probes nonstop. But if you cut some probes and you add a second gate, then you can hold the rush that comes. And then, of course, you have the variant where you have a photon cannon and you make probes nonstop, but your tech is a lot slower. So those are the 3 main types of Nexus First plays. So this is the in theory the most powerful one. What he's doing right here. But the SCV is alive in the main base, so Leda sees everything that's going on. He sees, like, okay, there's a robo. 2 zealots are just gonna run by. Oh, he just barely didn't block. If he had blocked even one of those, that would have been so much better. So this is a bit painful, unfortunately. Losing mining time. He lost 1 SCV there. He lost 2 SCVs. Okay. Do you make a vulture? No? Okay. Is Shuttle just gonna run? He's just gonna peace out. Okay. He thinks he did enough. You know what? He got great scouting. Suddenly he's up 7 workers. A lot of lost mining time in there. It obviously was very good for Shuttle, who's going directly into Reaver play. And the Reaver play makes some sense. If Leda decided to do any sort of, like, pressure, moving out with any tanks or anything, the Reaver could dismantle him for doing that. So that's kind of nice. And eBay on the way here for Leda. All right. I mean, this is a pretty standard position, though. The 6 SCV or the 6 probe advantage is a little bit more than you normally see with these 2 builds, but that's okay. You know, you're still doing a pretty strong economic play here from Leda's point of view. He does sneak a vulture out, which is nice. Maybe get a little bit of scouting, maybe even kill a probe or 2 there. Shuttle right now waiting on that Reaver, and it looks like he's getting ready for a 3rd base. This is where it can get a little bit scary. Oh, the Vulture's going to catch it before a Nexus. That's really nice. That's really good. That's really, really good. He has a better idea of what's going on now because, you know, the speed of that Nexus, like 1-gate Reaver 3rd Nexus is really, really strong. And to do that with a Nexus first is even stronger, especially after you killed a couple SCVs with a Zealot push early on. So, like, you put all that together, and it's like, oh, damn. Like, Shuttle has everything lining up for him right now. Now, the Reaver coming over. That mine is fantastic to slow him down. It looks like Shuttle does maybe eat it. I don't know if he killed it or ate it there. A lot of mines in the main base. This looks really well defended by Leda. I don't know how much... Well, you know what? He's going to drop the Zealots out first, so... Or no, he'll just... Alright, I'm done. Why are the Zealots in the shuttle? Okay, looks like they're going to fast forward this. This is not me. I think the commentators have the exact same feeling as me. He puts 2 shuttles in there. He sees only vultures. He knows he has mines. He unloads the Reaver and loses it without getting anything. Oh my god. There you go. Okay, Leda catching a ton of probes here. Leda has to be feeling like a prince right now. He's like, everything's going his way. Nothing's going Shuttle's way. Yeah, the Goliath comes out, pushes it back. So 6 factory timing attack is going to be coming up. I think this 6 factory will kill Shuttle. I think. Now, I am not a fan of actually moving out with the 6 factory plays, but he's killed a lot of probes just recently. The Reavers have done 0, like 0. He's going to have, you know, his +1 attack. He's going to have range. He's got really great defense in that main base. Yeah, I think there's a reasonable shot he can kill him with it. You can see he's cut SCVs at this point, so like he's definitely planning on that. Now what Shuttle needs is non-stop unit production. Zealot legs better be on the way, and he needs to actually micro these Reavers well. You need to make sure that he's not just walking out and sniping the Shuttle or something like that, or just instantly sniping the Reavers. So he gets a few shots off on the Shuttle, but still okay. Slowing this down a bit. The Observer actually is going to be able to just barely get out. Very nice. Okay, nice leapfrogging from Leda. But, you know, the more he slows down... Wow, Shuttle has Zealot legs. Okay, Leda should make a command center. I definitely... once Zealot legs are done, like, I think that if you can hit before Zealot legs, that's amazing. Wow, he's getting Psystorm really quickly as well in 3 base. Okay, if Shuttle just plays this well, this could actually turn into a really nice game. But Leda hasn't made SCVs forever, so, like, it's clear he's planning on going through with this. It felt like it could have been a good idea if he had been able to move more quickly, but Shuttle has slowed it down a little bit. Did he start a command center? Is that what I see at the bottom of his main base? I hope so. Maybe we'll see it as this Reaver goes down here. Oh, see, he's starting to think that it might be a 3rd base as well. He actually just adjusted his Reavers down to that 3rd base. Because I think at this point, if it's not moving, you're like, okay, yeah, it's got to be. Shuttle's army getting stronger and stronger right now. Yeah, that must be it. That must be a command center. It could be a starport, but I think based on its build speed, it looks like it's probably a command. Really good choice from Leda, I think, there. Really, really good choice. Because, again, I think he was definitely thinking about pushing, but sometimes you're thinking about it and it doesn't start to go well, and it's like, well, if you continue down this path, it's just, you're going to lose the game. So just switch it up and it's fine. And if you're sure that you're going to attack, then your Protoss opponent's going to be pretty sure of it too, and they're going to build a ton of gateways like you see here. Like, Shuttle right now has, I want to say he has 10 gates. I think he has 10 gates, which is like, that is all-in territory. Like, he was really looking to stop this. So if Leda only turtles here, we know that Shuttle can't help but to attack. He just, there's something with him. I talked about it in the last time. Well, he actually attacked a little bit too early the last time, but generally when he maxes, he just attack moves no matter what. And we're getting really close to that, and I'm nervous about it because Leda can hold it. This is an excellent, excellent setup that he has. But if Leda does something like tries to walk over these mines and then gets attack moved, that's like a free win for Shuttle. Right, a lot of units moving up. He's got the Psystorm, he's got the Zealot legs. Ooh, pops those Reavers. No! Shuttle! Oh, he's attacking a completely entrenched position. So okay, so remember with Leda, I'm like, okay, I think he's going to attack. okay, no, it's taking too long. He should make a command center. And then he makes a command center and sits there. Protoss players need to be able to make the same choice where like they're getting a ton of units and they look at it and say, oh, this won't work. I'm not going to do it. Because why would I do something that won't work? And that's a mistake that we've seen here from Shuttle, because he actually got himself into what I thought was a very nice position. He forced a 6 factory guy that really wanted to attack to rethink it. Obviously, he would have preferred for him to attack, so he could have just smashed it. But then with all those units, he kind of threw him away a little bit. The game isn't over. There's still, because of Psystorm, there's still like potential here for Shuttle to win this game. Like this is still going to be a bit of a battle, but that attack was absolutely poor. And it's like, I think this is an important thing that a lot of Protoss pros do need to work on is deciding not to attack. And being like, okay, well, I guess instead of attacking here and then not being able to max for the next 10 minutes, I'll stay maxed and make 2 Nexuses. And then if he attacks me, he'll be more clumped and not in an entrenched position, and then my battle is better. And I lose less units and or kill more units. I think these are important things for people to work on. Kind of a cute drop here from Leda. This is a very Leda-esque move to be flying around the map right now at 14 minutes with the drop ship and microing the hell out of it. It's a very, very Leda-esque. So he's trying to, you know, slow this a little bit. Maybe he got a probe in there and slowed like a possible 5th. But now Leda has his 3rd base up. He has double armory spinning. He's still pretty well entrenched. Shuttle here, you know, he has those 10 gates still. He's got good tech. He's adding another gate up there. Should add another Nexus in the top right. He's going to have to take his fights really well. You know, he did against Royal on that Dominator game. Like, he did one really bad attack, and then he just took, like... yeah, he did the terrible 3-base attack, very similar to this, but with less supply. And then he played, like, a really beautiful game after that on day 1. And he's going to have to play a game that's beautiful like that here. All right, the Storm Drop actually gets a fair amount of SCVs. He's still got Storms here as well. Oh! Damn, dude. All right. 45 SCVs remain. That's not that good. Some more Storms going down. Picks off another Siege Tank there as well. Leda is well up in army supply right now. We need to point out. He's really chasing with these Storms. Doesn't quite get the SCVs he was looking for there at the end. Look at this little dropship. This is such a cute play. Flying a little dropship over here and then laying a million mines to slow anything down. Of course, plays like that don't generally pay off. They can, but it's rare that you're going to get like a Nexus off of that against a strong player. So right now, neither of them actually have that good of worker counts. 45 against 59 is kind of low on both sides. See if anyone kind of tries to recover that a little bit. Now he's starting to move out towards the middle. You see where that turret's being built? That's like where buildable terrain starts in the middle on this new version of Deja Vu. He does have some Goliaths back here to make sure that shuttles can't just come up and do what they want. Shuttle now flown out with his maxed army. 2-2 upgrades for Leda. Looking good. Leda does... I think he has a 4th command center started in his natural. I think, but I'm not 100% sure. Like, I see a big block of buildings there, and to the right I know is a science facility, but I haven't seen what's to the left of that. It looks like there's something above where his bunker was, or might still be. Not too many people kill their bunker, but they probably should. Little pick off here with a vulture drop. Nice. Picking off a few strong units. Little bit of damage to the probes as well. And actually, like a lot of times at this point in the game, these vulture drops aren't super effective. Like, they can still be good. They can still be worthwhile. But in this particular case where we're, like, below 60 probes, I think that's pretty reasonable. And that was a command center right above the bunker as anticipated. Will he float that to the north, or will he try to take center? In this game, I think you float it to the north. It's really hard against these heavy Psystorm styles to mine out of the center. I think it's... I mentioned this before in some other games that I was casting. I think Ample versus YSC I mentioned. Against Arbiter and Carrier, the center base is pretty solid, but against these High Templar speed shuttle styles, it's really hard to keep SCVs alive there. So let's see which direction this floats in. Laying some mines there in the middle. Oh, he's going to center. Okay. So he wants to completely dominate the center of the map, which if you can do it, it's unbelievably strong. But it is hard. All right, here we go. Ooh. By the way, 43 SCVs to 61 probes, meaning he's got an extra 20 army supply above. Like, to make this look the same, this is like 110 army supply for Terran. Well, no, that's not the right way to put it, but like his supply would be like 200 right now if you have to adjust for that, right? Like, because sometimes you'll see two max, you'll be like, they're both 200 supply. Okay, I know what that looks like. No. Not when the workers are this different. It looks really different when the worker count is this different. Right, quite a few shuttles. Shuttle flying into the third. Gonna bomb on top of these tanks. Lots of turrets in there, so one-way trip for everything. Oh my god, he killed a lot of SCVs. That was crazy. 30 SCVs only, and now he's mining from the center. And, like, Shuttle should just keep playing like this. If he gets the SCVs in the center as well, those are so easy to run up and, like, lose just a few units and Psystorm the hell out of them. I think Shuttle's got this. Like, Leda did some very good things in this game, and we definitely saw a blunder with the first Reaver and a blunder with the first attack from Shuttle. But since then, he's been getting some great Psystorm drops off. He's been macroing well. He's up on the 5 bases, 6 base coming. Really good D-matrices. But you can see what I'm talking about with the storming of SCVs there. Really hard to keep them mining. Now, Leda's going to have to leapfrog that whole back half forward. Like, he actually does have to dominate center if he wants to win this game. Speed Shuttle's coming in from a different angle now. Dropping right on top of these tanks. He's going to kill a lot here, unfortunately. Not even that many SCVs left to kill. He's got him down to 26. I don't think you have to do any more. I think right now, if you just focus on killing off units and stuff, just taking decent engages, it's not going to be a whole lot Leda can do. I love the gateways in the top right for Shuttle, by the way. I think this is so smart. And look at this. Leda is taking over the center very well. You can see just the edges here being used for this army movement. Eventually, Leda's going to get into a position where Shuttle feels good about attacking. I have to say, man, like, I definitely disagree with some of the early game or very early mid-game things that Shuttle has done in the games that we've casted here. But his late game actually looks better than almost every Protoss. Like, I am legitimately super impressed with the way he's moving his army, a lot of the drops he's doing. Like, it's like, you can see why he's actually in ASL like every season just about. Like, you cannot tell me that he's not crushing right now. He is, like, putting out such a strong game. If he fixed just a like, I feel like, I mean, tell me if you think I'm wrong in the comments, but I really do feel like I'm watching some of these early fights, like who attacks into these positions? It's like so bad, and this supply goes so low, and he's kind of on the back foot for a while, and then he fights right back, and it's like, damn, dude, if you kept this level up all game, and obviously there are different parts of the game, and people have different skills at different times, but yeah, I don't know, I just... Like, the way he's playing it right now is so patient, it's methodical, it's smart, he's putting his production everywhere he should, he's loading up on cannons. Look at this. Even this move, sending to top left, if there was a command center there, Leida's heart would, you know, sink. That's what I'm looking for, sink. Because suddenly there's an army there that just wrecks it, just kills it. And now he'll just move that around. He's checking another base in the top left. Oh, hallucination, let's go. Oh my God. Man, I don't think he needs any more economic damage. I think the damage has been dealt. 28 SCVs is not a very healthy number. Okay, this push up to the north, it looks like he's trying to cut the map completely in half. That's actually a really good idea from Leida. I like that. Cut the map in half, kill that top middle base at like 12 o'clock-ish base, and then eventually you can fill in the back of the map. And if you could do all that, you're going to win. This might be a game for carriers. We might need to see shuttle go carrier from here to finish. Because that's the big problem with mass speed shuttle Psystorm styles. The mass shuttle Psystorm styles are very bad at killing Terran. They're so good at taking fights. They're so good at harassment. But they can't kill an entrenched Terran. It's like almost impossible. Because at the end of the day, it's like shorter ranged units that aren't as cost efficient against a well spread out, well maintained army. You know? And so, like, the transition into carrier, I feel I'm not a huge fan of transitions into carriers because, like, here's the thing. They'll kill me all the time. But when we're talking about very top-end pro Terrans, generally they catch the transition. Occasionally they don't, for sure. I cast games. Remember that speed game on the channel? If you watch this channel a lot. Man, he had no idea. I didn't either. But normally they'll catch it, and then they'll punish. Not always, but yeah, it can be a risk to switch into that. I'm just... Well, he probably, because the economy's so low for Leida, can just break through anyways. But you can see here, for instance, look at this. He's spending 10 zealots to kill 2 tanks. Over time, I think that, you know, Leida's happy with that over time. He does need to get another command center going. He floated his natural command to the north, so that is going to be an additional base for him. Keeping shuttles out of that, it might be a little bit difficult. Okay, another mass hallucination. A lot of High Templars in here. EMP would be so fancy on that. Oh, I love that idea as well. Okay, here come the Halukes. LOL, it was your win. Yeah, another big Psystorm drop in here. The funny thing is, like, that base, like, he's still going to be able to eventually get all the minerals out of it. If the game continues, of course. Really efficient plays here from Leida. Unbelievable game we're watching right now. Unbelievable game. Anyways, at top left, like, setting up a gateway and some cannons there is really, really smart. That's going to be really annoying for Leida to deal with. All right, shuttles once again dropping out on those siege tanks. Dude, it is hard to be more efficient than what Leida's doing up here at this 12 o'clock base. Is Shuttle... If Shuttle loses this game, that is going to be a shock. But Leda is recovering. 40 workers right now is not that bad. The center is going to get mined out. This base is still kind of healthy, and his new base obviously is fine. There's a lot of money being spent on him continually bombing that bottom, like, 6 o'clock base. This is a crazy game. Shuttle just has so much more supply right now. Oh my god, 3 High Templars in that. So, there's like 2 things that keep occurring here for Shuttle. Number 1, he keeps cost inefficiently saving the 12 o'clock Nexus. Number 2, he keeps bombing in to Psystorm everything at 6 o'clock. He spent so much money on those 2 things. It's really allowed Leda to just concentrate on 2 different areas and try to build back into the game. He's not completely back in it yet, but that new mining base is a real problem for Shuttle. That Nexus could really change everything. I love the DTs coming out of there, by the way. If he can just wreck the minerals that are being mined up at that, like, 9 o'clock-ish base, that could be what is the nail in the coffin here. Like, look, he's got no defense up here. And the DTs are going to kill SCVs very quickly. He does send in some vultures. So obviously that's good to be able to clean that up. All right, comes in here again, but there's not like a ton of defense here anymore, so this is not cost inefficient for Shuttle this time. Shuttle is only mining from top right and barely from top left. He only has a few probes there. Top right is good, really well saturated. Top left, not well saturated yet, but he's working on it. Leda is mining from that 9 o'clock base and a little bit in the center still. The center still has, I think, all 6 patches, but they're getting really low. All right, command center gets picked. He still has that main command center. There's only 3 command centers on this map, by the way, which is not super common. I know command centers can fly, but like generally you just build new command centers at new bases. Okay, good dodging skills here from Leda. 31 SCVs, 11 gas for Leda. Leda, like, isn't mining gas. Yeah, they're showing that right now. He can only make vultures and turrets and SCVs. Oh my gosh. You could make Marines, Artoses, and supply depots. Thanks. Oh, vultures actually raiding this base as well. Oof. This is an insane game. I have found myself wanting Shuttle to win this so badly. Between the match against Royal and now this game, I'm like, okay. Shuttle's PvT is something I want to see more of this season. A lot of mines being laid. He is retaking that 12 o'clock base. A lot of High Templar in here. Ooh, good D-Matrix. D-Matrix is such a good counter to a Psystorm on a tank. Well, the game has really slowed at this point. Sorry, I'm kind of sitting here thinking a lot about like some of these attacks that we've seen, like the early ones, and how we've gotten to this position. This is the funny thing about StarCraft. I remember Noni said this, and it really struck me as perfectly true, is the most one-sided games are the best played games. Because someone just executed exactly how they should to win. It's like the games everyone likes, like these long, crazy macro games with so much stuff going on. It takes a lot of mistakes from both sides to get here. That is a fact. Wow, that's a lot of Psy Storms. 21 SCVs remain. He's sending more up to this area. Shuttle's money is almost gone, but he's at twice the supply right now. Oh my gosh. All right, another siege up at that 12 base. That is a very important base right now. He looks like he's breaking through the center, but the center doesn't have mineral patches left, so it's not really valuable. It's valuable for movement, but not... like, it's no longer a base. It's just the center of the map now. All right, some good Psy Storms go down. He doesn't have a lot of Zealots. It would be nice if the Archon could get in front and tank some of this. Not bad. Dude, I really still don't know what's going to happen here. I've been thinking Shuttle for a long time. But, like, Shuttle has almost nothing left, too. And sometimes when you get to these really, really small armies, Vultures can just pay such big dividends. Like, Vultures can beat, like, in smaller numbers, Vultures beat everything but Dragoons. And in the right numbers, they actually, they can find Dragoons that are not together, like, and kill those as well. Because they're so fast, right? But, like, for instance, Vultures here, you could kill all those Archons with these if you micro really heavily. Yeah, taking out the Archons pretty quickly. Shuttle does have a good amount of probes in top left now. He lost that 12 o'clock base, but top left is mining nicely. I feel like Leda might have forgotten that the 6 o'clock base actually still has tons of minerals at it. There's something down there from Shuttle. I don't know if it's his shuttles or what. Maybe sent some probes down there. Not really sure. Okay, just a group of units. That's actually a pretty big group of units to be missing out on right now. I don't mind leaving one just to make sure he doesn't mine from it, but yeah, you might want to try to bring those back into the game. Hallucinated shuttles. Not the best storms. The thing is, the High Templars are a little bit expendable, just because generally Protoss in this matchup will have a lot of excess gas at the end of the game. That's why sometimes you see lots of Archons and lots of High Templars. Oh. He was hoping that was out of range. That was right on the edge of the Siege Shank range, so I understand that one. I understand that one. Sometimes you look at it, you're like, I think, maybe? And if it is out of range, it's like you get a great Psy Storm, and you're like, all right, sick. Okay, Shuttle, you need to think about 6 o'clock. You need to think about, I don't know, like, yeah, I guess he's taking this natural. He's trying to, at least. Leda with entrenched pushes has some potential still. I think if Shuttle brings all of his army together, there will be positions he can go to. Ooh. Damn. Good defense from Leda once again. But, like, Leda's supply is small enough. Shuttle's entire army can probably break any one position. But he's kind of, like, spread way out, and he's got, like, smaller groups of army fighting in different areas. No, not again. Okay, he actually uses the other shuttles that were in here, including the hallucination, to tank for him a bit. Really, these shuttle drops are not that good. He's spending a lot and getting, like, a few vultures here and there. I tell you, whoever wins this is going to feel so good getting into the ASL off of something like this. This insane, insane game. This crazy series. I can't believe how long this is. Blowing my mind. Eric's floating in for a little bit of vision here. So we have 44 army supply against about a 90 army supply. Huh. You have to have like a perfect spread here, perfect mines. Like, Leda's making a game of it, but I really am feeling that Shuttle's going to be able to pull this out now. Okay, good pick off on that tank. Yeah. This might be the final move. Like, getting in here and destroying this command center. No economy left. GG. Shuttle qualifies for ASL. What a game. All right, we're going to go into Group 9. Scan has made it to the finals. Here we go. Oh my God, so exciting. So in the top left as the brown Terran, it is Scan, a good friend of mine, and should be everyone's favorite Terran. In the bottom left, it's Hammer. Hammer, an ex-pro who is back now apparently and doing really well. I actually just didn't know he was playing until this tournament. Never was a player I really paid much attention to, but of course, Scan. We're in game 3. We're rooting for Scan. We're going to get another Terran player in this tournament regardless, but it would be amazing. Scan made it in last season as well. Just a great, great guy, a good friend of mine. If you don't understand, he's actually a good friend of mine and has taught me a lot about StarCraft. I've gotten to hang out with him a lot back in Korea. We lived pretty close to each other. And he, you know, he's fantastic. So we are hoping for Scan to be able to take this. Cannot hide any bias there. All right. Here we go, guys. Super, super pumped about it. Okay. Deja Vu is our map. Scan. Looks like he's doing forward 11 racks. Okay. Now, Hammer. Let's see if he takes a gas. Ooh. Okay. All right. So what's happening here is Hammer in the bottom left here is going for a gasless expansion, which is a good build in TVT, but Scan has gone for a forward 11 racks. It's very likely that he will make 2 Marines, and it is very likely that he will scout Hammer first. Now, Hammer is doing a cross-spawn scout to see if there is a center barracks that he needs to prepare for. There is not, so he will continue forward towards his command center. Now, Scan, it looks like he will see Scan's barracks because he will walk by it. So that is going to give him a little bit of advance notice, which is really, really important. If he had scouted in a different direction here, he would be in a lot more trouble because Scan would instantly put pressure on. Now, this type of pressure, this forward 11 racks, does not straight kill the build that Hammer is doing, but it, you know, it's reasonable. It does okay. Like, it generally gives you a small lead as opposed to being slightly behind. So Hammer is playing this really well. He puts the SCV right on top. One SCV actually beats 1 Marine when both are microed really, really well. So yeah, Scan has to pull that all the way back, and Scan is going to scout Hammer pretty late. So a couple unfortunate things happening for Scan, but this is not the end of the world. Scan hasn't taken any risks really. Forward 11 racks in a position like that, excuse me, is not really a risk. He is going for a factory. He's actually moving out with the Marines. So it looks like he actually, you know what, based on the timing of that scout, I think he looks at that and says, that felt like a 12 scout. So I think he knows that it's very likely that his opponent has gone for a gasless. So he does bring up his 2 Marines and the SCV. And also, even if your opponent didn't, if he only made 1 Marine, you can do something with this as well. You know, unable to do anything with it this time. Backs up. He's making his own command center. Hammer's being really annoying with the SCV. Hammer's doing a great job with this SCV. That is actually incredible that he was able to force that SCV off. That's delaying Scan quite a bit. Like, he didn't kill anything, but like, the lost time there is pretty significant. Now, Scan is going for a starport. This is actually something Scan likes a lot in TVT against Gasless expansion. He'll very oftentimes do a Vulture drop. Now, this Vulture drop is going to come in, like, through the natural expand. So, a little bit hard to be, like, super surprising with that. Generally, your units are closer to the natural and everything's tighter at the natural. So, if that's the first place you fly in, like, unloading, you can kind of be surrounded a little bit quickly, right? So, like, sometimes in these positions, you'll want to try to get the starport out on the map so you're coming from a different angle. But that's okay. Scan has some potential for damage there. His command center is not done quite yet, but we'll keep an eye on that because as that finishes, that'll tell us what the SCV disadvantage will be for him in this particular game. Vulture chasing down that SCV right now. Yeah, and a 3... Okay, this is pretty good for Hammer. The build that he chose. So he's going to go for a 3-factory Vulture. And against Vulture drop, that is pretty good. Because basically you have to make like 4 Vultures with this drop and you have like basically no units. So what Scan is going to have to do is make a wall at home. I actually really like it with a bunker considering he made 2 Marines. I think a bunker here is very, very good for him, but you don't have to. Like if you go 4 Vultures immediately into a tank and you have a decent wall and you add your factories on time, generally you're going to be okay against the Vulture counterattack. But basically his opponent will win the war on Vultures 100%. Scan will most likely make a Wraith here. He has his Vultures. Here we go. He's going to load up, and let's see what damage he can get. There's not going to be dedicated anti-air here for Hammer, so that allows Scan to drop and then pick up the Vultures. He doesn't have to sacrifice all 4. He can pick off like an SCV here, an SCV there, and yeah, be pretty happy with that. He's got quite a few mines out on the map. Now, he's waiting for the Vultures to go before he goes in. Really big brain play. I would not have done that. I'm dumb. But this is great because now he is out on the map, and now Scan's going to get some damage. Look at this. Already has tied this up. He made the bunker as well. Love it. Full wall. Love it. Oh, yeah. He's up 5 SCVs. All right. The Wraith is here as well. Super annoying. He sent his Marines over. I didn't see if he sacrificed them, but I think he did. So now the Wraith is going to cause some problems. There is an armory, so he can make a Goliath now. Scan flying around, seeing if, you know, maybe the Vultures won't stay right underneath him. Maybe he can pick something off. See? He just flies back and forth, and if the Vultures don't mirror him, he can unload and get more SCV kills. Beautiful play here from Scan. Beautiful. Three Vultures can target down quite a few SCVs. So now he's up 5. He's lost literally 1 unit. He's lost 1 Vulture this game, guys. And he's killing a lot. Some mines put down, some defensive mines here from Hammer. Looking really, really good for Scan. He's actually making more Goliaths here as well. So he's going to be able to kill the barracks. He's forcing a lot of Goliaths. He already has good mines on the map. Very, very many good things happening for Scan. Look at this. He brings this back in, the dropship with the 3 Vultures. Really annoying to deal with. Doesn't really get anything done with that one. And I think he'll just barely get out with this. Yeah. Okay. Now, the game might just normalize from here. I don't really see anyone having, like, an attack timing. I would not even call it an attack timing, because that's, like, actually how you lose the TVT. It would be a contain timing. I don't think either side can move up and get a strong contain off. I don't think so. We'll see. Some pretty good mines being laid here from Hammer. Scan has a pretty fair amount of units right now. You can see, obviously, there's more army supply here for Hammer. He's down 8 SCVs, but at the same supply overall. But a lot of that is Vulture-based. Although, to be fair, Scan has some Vultures, a dropship, and then, like, 3 Wraiths. So, Like, their actual army strengths are pretty comparable. The Wraiths are actually doing a really good job here. These 3 Wraiths, just the consistency of damage on these Vultures, just over time is really, really nice. Good scan there from Scan. Oh! Gets 2 tanks. All right, Scan is in very good shape now. Getting those 2 tanks is, like, really, really big. Now, I don't know if Scan's going to try to actually push into a contain. He could play further back, and he is guaranteed a third. He's guaranteed a big macro game. Yeah, like, right, you see right where he's sieging? That move there, this guarantees him a big macro game. But do you see also how many factories he just added? So what he's doing is he's sieging up, and it looks like he's thinking of expanding, and he might expand. He actually has a lot of minerals. There, you know, he might have nerves are acting up. He's like so close. He knows in this game he should win this. So like maybe he's screwed up a little bit and needs to add factories just to spend down his money. But the amount of factories he's made makes me think he's going to try to kill Hammer, which is not super common in high-level TVT. You generally don't try to kill on 2 base, but yeah, it looks like he is going to attempt this. He moves up, he sieges with a ton of tanks, and this is going to minimum give him a strong containment. Dude, he's going to win. That's it. He's going to win this game. Oh my God. Hammer had... I actually wasn't even looking at that, but Hammer did get a 3rd base. The thing is, that's not as powerful as a contain. Scan can just take a 3rd base a little bit later. The fact that he's in this position, how do you break out of that? It is so incredibly hard. And with the Wraiths, there's so much more play here for Scan. He has a lot of potential on continuing to move forward. Look at this. He's up 20 supply right now. If he can force Hammer to have like a concentration of units up here, he can rotate Vultures to the 3rd. In fact, that's what he's doing right now. Well, I think he's going... Well, his Vultures stayed up on the ramp, and the the Goliath... Or rather, the Wraiths checked it out. But okay, whatever. Could have rotated in there, but not a big deal. Oh, that was a nice move from Hammer. He picks off one of the tanks on high ground. Every little tank matters right now. But Scan's containment is not one that's going to be easy to get rid of. This is like... Fast 3rd bases on maps like this are generally not as good. A map like Polypoid, sure, you have the high ground. You can't really get contained. But look at this tough position. Hammer's going to move forward. He's trying to break out. It's not going to work. Scan is going to crush this. Scan is going to crush this. Plenty of units. Plenty of tanks on the high ground for this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Only 2 tanks left. Now, he rotates in these Vultures, targeting down SCVs. By the way, Scan does have a 3rd base making. I'm getting afraid that Caster Curse might be real right now. I can't believe that he broke through that many tanks there. Scan has a lot of factories, though. As long as he keeps macroing and sending his units down, I'm still very confident in him. These containment positions are much more powerful than your opponent having a 3rd base more quickly than you. All right, 2-port Wraith. That's kind of a clever move. You're spending a lot of money to do that. It looks like, I think he actually scanned. I think we were just looking at a scan that he had. But Scan himself actually has 2-port Wraith going. So if you have 2-port Wraith and your opponent has 2-port Wraith and you have more Wraiths, you're just going to crush them because they're not making Goliaths. Look at this. His Wraith's chasing him down. Okay, Hammer's dead. There is no way now. There is no way. Oh, all right. All right, go Scan. Scan is in the ASL once again. All right, we're going into the finals of Group 10. We only have 2 more players that are going to be advancing here today, and one of them is going to be one of these 2. JYJ has been waiting in the finals for a while, and Tyson was able to beat Noob to move up. So here we go. It's going to be Tyson going up against JYJ. Protoss versus Terran here once again to decide another player moving through. I think it's pretty obvious JYJ is favored here, but we'll see. Like, Tyson has been really active lately. And in fact, Tyson leads 1-0 over JYJ. Man, what an upset this would be if JYJ's been a mainstay of ASL for like 10 seasons now. Like, he has been in every single season for quite some time. Obviously, he won that one championship. I think that that's like probably not something that's going to repeat, as much as I really like JYJ and the way he plays. And I have utmost respect for his skill. But yeah, that's... let's see, right? He lost to Barracks earlier in day 1, and here he is up against Tyson. So Tyson can be a deadly Protoss player. Like, he has some cheesy things up his sleeve. I've played Tyson quite a few times in the ladder, and he will mix in some dirtiness from time to time. And if you're up 1-0 and you're playing on Dominator, maybe you want to do that. Maybe. You know, you hold that high ground, you push Terran down one time down their ramp on this map, and you're probably going to win it. I don't think he'll do that. I think JYJ is really robust in the early game, so I'm not too worried about him being cheesed out here. Like, I do favor JYJ, even though he's down 1-0 in this series so far. But you never know. Sometimes when you're losing, it's like you start to feel more pressure, you know, as an ex-champion and someone who hasn't really had any other big success other than that. I could see JYJ being like, oh my god, I have to qualify for this. I have to. You know, he doesn't have as big a stream as some of these other guys. Really important that he continues to play really well in the big leagues, because it gives you like a lot of kind of prestige to get more people watching you and interested in you. So yeah, I could see him being really pressured here, and let's see if he can play up to his actual level. Did he just buy an extra SCV? Yeah, he did. He went to 17. Okay, he canceled it. There you go. You gotta be careful about that. Just on autopilot, but he gets his factory down in time. Okay, so everything looking good here for JYJ. And I mean, over on Tyson's side, nothing weird. Like, I'm sure he's making a Dragoon right now. No range as of yet. Okay, starts the range. I think whether you're going to get range or not, you start it while the SCV is in here, because you know that the SCV is going to leave soon. The thing is that, like, timing to make the Nexus as quickly as possible and cancel range is before the Dragoon comes out. So that's what JYJ is waiting for. He'll probably pop up the ramp. Yeah, the probe just stopped on the ramp to hit him. Yeah, that was all really, really well timed. Yeah, and that's just a normal range into Nexus timing. I actually think this is the best opener other than Nexus First right now to not cancel range. Everyone was canceling range for a while there, and sometimes that allows some kind of aggressive Terran tactics to work out, or greedy Terran tactics as well. Oh, he actually canceled range and restarted it. Oh, that's funny, because he really... Like, that might have sped his Nexus up by a couple seconds, but, like, the actual timing for range into Nexus is about 3 minutes, 15 seconds. I think he got it around 3 minutes, 11 seconds. Feels like that was maybe a mistake there, but anyways, whatever. Robo on the way. I don't think it'll probably come into play here, but it's just like, if you know your opponent cancels range, you don't have to get a bunker. That's the main thing. Like, if he goes like a 3 minute, 5 second Nexus, something like that, like you can just hold off the Dragoons. Like, you'll have either mines or siege tank out by the time you need it, to make sure you don't just die to like range Dragoons. Whereas if they get range, like if they are like, no, I am getting range, you have to bunker or you're a crazy person. Like, you're taking a sick risk at that point. Vulture just checking that out. Gets a little ping off. He definitely knows that range was canceled, at least now. Range finishes like about 10 seconds before he did that Vulture hit. If you don't cancel range. Yeah, Robo coming up. Observatory. Everything really, really normal. Just Vultures are really being made. Gonna lay a few mines here and there. Yeah, the reason why he went in and took that hit is so that the auto target wouldn't go after mines, and so you could get that mine actually buried. If Tyson had been really quick, he could have targeted the mine. But yeah, he gets it anyways. But, you know, you want to make him do all these extra things. He brought his Marines up here. He's just looking to see. He's not actually going to attack there. Occasionally, like, Protoss will get hit by a mine accidentally or something, and then you spill blood in the water, and maybe you'll push forward with the Marine Vulture. Force, you know, sometimes the Marines will tank and the Vultures run by, stuff like that. It's okay to just walk them up, then walk them home, because there's nothing else that can occur. Like, basically, when he's up there, he sees every single spent mineral. He knows there's nothing else. It's not like there could be another unit on the map, because he, like, from what he sees, that's it. That's all the money. All the money's been spent, right? So, like, you can do move outs like that without any risk. The only risk being losing track of your multitasking yourself. That would be an unforced error. Your opponent cannot force an error unto you there, is, I guess, the right way to put this. Okay, anyways, it was an Armory eBay opener here for JYJ, so he's really aiming towards, like, early, late game with this build. You know, Tyson is just playing a very stock standard normal game. I kind of appreciate that he's not doing anything crazy here. He's just playing a standard macro game. I think he's good enough to, you know, beat people with this type of play. I don't think he's like one of the best Protoss players. He's like someone that if he doesn't get in, I'm not surprised. If he gets in, I'm like, oh, that's good for him, you know? Ah, Arbiter. In fact, 2 base Arbiter. But this might be Arbiter Tech Nexus. That would be fancy. That would actually work really well here. Normally, if you go 2 base Arbiter, you go up to 4 or 6 gateways before making your 3rd Nexus. So he's made 4. We'll see if he goes up to 6. But yeah, I was just wondering. That would be like a very greedy play to make your Nexus before all those gates. Pylon wall is up. I don't know when JYJ is going to add his academy, because he's not really going to be able to figure out what this is until then, I think. Okay, he already has his academy, because I just heard a scan. Don't know where it was. It could have been the 3rd, or it could have been the main. We're going to assume it was the main base, and he now knows that it was, that it is an Arbiter build. Now, Arbiter builds are specifically really, really strong against like any 5 or 6 fact pushes. It's just this is something that, you know, there was like a period of probably 6 months where I casted so many TVPs on this channel, which were almost all timing pushes, and we literally watched the metagame evolve into Arbiter builds again, because you know, Arbiter builds, like, the cloak itself can hold the push, because you can't get a frontal turret up and you just don't have enough scans that early in the game with 2 comsats to break through. Like, sometimes people do push against them. Realistically, JYJ should make a command center. In fact, Tyson's gone for the 6 gates that I was talking about before. So, like, he's not even skimping at all. He's playing a completely safe, standard 2 base Arbiter game. Love this DT. Love this DT. Forces a scan. That is such a good DT. Oh my god, it's going to force 2 scans maybe? Well, he lays mine, so he's trying to stop it from doing that, but I think Tyson's smart enough to walk it around. This is good play from Tyson. He started a scout and canceled. That is funny. He might have looked at that and said, oh, I might need this damage, actually. The consistency of the damage. I'm surprised JYJ is deciding to do this, putting his life on the line with a 2 base push. Ooh, good mine hit. A 2 base push against 2 base Arbiter. Look at the amount of units Tyson is getting right now. This is good, though. But look at the DT. You don't have enough scans to fight against this. This is why this build crushes these 2 fact pushes. And the fact that Tyson with 1 DT has forced 2 scans, amazing. So there's like 1 scan left. The Arbiter's about to pop. You gonna kill him? Are you gonna get him? I don't think so. JYJ turns around. He's chasing these goons home. This is the best thing he can do right now. And Tyson, you know, Tyson definitely did make a little bit of a mistake getting these goons trapped. I don't think it's the end of the world for him, though. See? He's coming right up. He knows. He knows that the cloak is going to just destroy. All right. Backs him up to the turret. Oh, he actually lost a gateway to those high ground tanks. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah, he actually floated a building over. I wasn't really paying attention to that. I was really looking at, like, unit movement, but that's kind of nifty. That's kind of nifty. Okay, the new base is being made up here for JYJ. It is a bit late, considering, you know, the build that he's up against. But the third base of Tyson isn't fast here either. So it's kind of a slow third. He doesn't really catch probes up there. It's not a great probe count. It is a great SCV count. Generally, Protoss will be up a little bit on workers, but this is really great SCV production coming out of JYJ right now. And Tyson will catch up and, in fact, surpass that count in a minute here, but he doesn't have a huge economy to play with. He does have to be really careful with his units. 5 factory still going here. Going into the science facility as well, kind of spreading out. Now, recall is pretty strong on Dominator. I don't think it's, like, end of the world strong. There are certainly maps where recall is, like, game breaking, and the setup of this map, you look at it and you're like, oh, it is really good here, because the main base is kind of shoots out into everywhere, and it's got like this rim around it, so you have to actually float like 4 buildings to have vision outside so your turrets actually hit. Otherwise, they're already in recall range when your turret starts shooting, and turrets don't stop arbiters either anyways. It's just like the extra vision from a normal main base helps so that you can move more quickly to counter the arbiters. So that is a little bit of an issue. We definitely could see recall play a big role in this game. And you can see he's setting up as anti-recall. And this makes a lot of sense. In my opinion, on a map like this, or even just against Arbiter in general, it is worth it to put 1 to 2 tanks and just sacrifice them for the majority of the game in your main base to help. Because mines do well, but if you have a couple tanks in there that then aggro the goons and zealots into even more mines, that's how you can really dominate a recall. So I very, very much like that. I love that Tyson has taken his 4th base to the north there. Really good location. He's slowly and steadily growing. And eventually, I think he can just kind of explode out his bases. I think Tyson's put out a really good game here. A really good game. And I am not a big fan of Tyson. We yell at each other sometimes when we play, but he's actually playing like a princely PvT. Very, very strong. I'm honestly having a like hard time of thinking of anything he's really done wrong here. Like, yeah, the goons kind of got trapped on the way back, but they also slowed things down so his Arbiter could crush. Like, yeah, he's playing really well, man. Okay, here comes the recall. This is the first recall. Oh, he's going to stasis the ramp, isn't he? He's got to wait. He's got to wait. He's got to wait. Oh, what? He should have stasis the ramp. That was a perfect scenario to stasis the ramp. Anyways, the recall is actually doing well. Like, he's picking off a lot of units as they come out. He's getting some SCVs here in the main. He clears the tanks that are in the main. A lot of times these recalls will clear out a lot of missile turrets as well. And as you clear out these missile turrets, it's just more things that Terran has to kind of rebuild, or your next recall can be even more strong. I would like to make sure that he gets these Arbiters out of here. You do not want these things to die to stray turrets or Goliaths. Like, at this point, generally, Terran will start making a couple Goliaths to try to kill off the Arbiters if they stay. Either way, another attack up the front here from Tyson. All right, coming forward. The Arbiter not doing a ton for him right here. Yeah, good stasis on 3 tanks. Very, very well-aimed stasis. And now the Zealots are racing a lot of these other tanks as well. JYJ not dead yet. He does have tanks coming up from the low ground. During this, Tyson has made a 5th Nexus. He's not mining from it yet, but he has started it. So that's very, very important as well. Oh, okay, it's another tank there. Should back up, should back up. Dude, like, legitimately, This is a superb PVT. From A to Z. Like, I mean, I think he should have stasis the ramp. That's like, that's a Terran killer there, but other than that, man, and that, you can't even call that a mistake. Like, he played it well. He played it well. He did damage. He's controlling the game for sure right now. He's got a good Arbiter count. Now, JYJ is not out. He's not dead. He's got enough supply. 124 against 161. Like, you're holding. You're not out. He's got 3 bases. He's even got 3 gases going already. So, like, he can start making a lot of vessels to counter these Arbiters somewhat. That is kind of a nice thing from the Terran standpoint of playing against Arbiter. If you live through everything, like, the Arbiter player has to decide how to play that. Do you try a carrier transition, or are you going to add Psystorm? Or are you just going to go like 2 Stargate Arbiter and just go crazy on recalls? Those are kind of the 3 ways to go, because if you stay 1 Stargate Arbiter and Gateway units, it's just Gateway Man with extra steps at that point, okay? So, like, JYJ still has potential here. Nice EMP. Excellent EMP. He was going for that additional recall. And we do see right now it's Gateway Man with flying cloaky boys. So, like, I would like to see just a little bit more out of Tyson here. Just a little bit. And we'll see. He doesn't need it right this second, but it has to be pretty soon. Because JYJ is stabilizing. You know, his main base is not invincible, but he's putting up more and more turrets. He's laying some mines. He's got vessels kind of on the periphery looking to catch Arbiters. So these are all very, very good moves from JYJ. He's staying very calm. This is, like, Flash has talked about this. This is like how to play TVP. Is like, whatever happens, clean it up and just keep going. And that's what he's done so far. Okay, here we go. He comes in, and that is an excellent stasis in the back. That is a superb stasis. What a move there. Comes in, gets another stasis off. It's a pretty good one. So he's killed off basically all the tanks in the front here. This is a lot of Dragoons. JYJ might die to this push. He cannot be losing this Nexus. These 4 tanks are really, really important. If he doesn't have enough units to reclaim those units under stasis, there's no way to come back from this game. Tyson setting up another Nexus, getting ready for even another one. So he's going up to maybe 7 bases during all of this. Damn. Catches a vessel on its way out. Gonna kill all these tanks as they come out of stasis as well. What a game from Tyson. Seriously. What a game. Wow. Yeah, right now he's kind of like over-microing a smaller group of units. I don't think he needs to do that. He does go up to 7 base. He's playing against 3 base. 150 against 91. Command center floating out of the main to mine from the space. You know, I do have to point out, you know, I was tough on some early game shuttle moves. I was tough on some early game movie moves, and I think I was right on those. And I got to be tough on JYJ here. I don't know why he tried to push against an Arbiter, a 2-base Arbiter opener. It's not supposed to ever work. The thing is, you can make stuff that's not supposed to work in StarCraft sometimes, man. Everyone makes mistakes and stuff, but like, you're not setting yourself up very well if you're choosing a minus EV move like that. Like, it's not supposed to work. Okay, you can try it, but you're not really behind if you don't try it. If you do try it, you're probably going to be behind. And, you know, that was what allowed Tyson to get into such a beautiful position. And Tyson has played so well from here. I wouldn't even be surprised if this is surprising for JYJ how well Tyson's playing, because Tyson isn't generally considered this strong. But this is giving me vibes of like how well Stork was playing last season, where I was like, damn, this is the best PVT in ASL right now. For these qualifiers, this is the best PVT I've seen. It's better than Shuttle's. Like, it's from beginning to end, this has been amazing. Now, here comes a recall into that main base, brings an additional Arbiter as well, so there is a secondary recall that can be utilized. Yeah, and there it is. Dude. He has a lot of vultures here, and it's very zealot heavy, but even so... Oh, no, there's a lot of goons in the back, actually. And now he's clearing the front with his other goons. What a magnificently played game. What a pleasure it is to see a PvT played to this level. Damn. Really, really, really well done. And Tyson, well-deservedly. Like, he had a tough bracket. You know, he had to beat Noob as well. Noob's been in ASL. GG, JYJ will not be in ASL this season. Tyson advances. Well-deserved. Great, great game. One spot remains in the ASL Season 19, and it is going to go to either Calm or I guess it's Harangi. Wow. So a PVZ to finish this up. And let's get into it. All right. So we have in the bottom center, and it looks like the first game was won by Calm, by the way. Bottom center here of Dominator is going to be Harangi, and top leftish is going to be Calm. So, you know, these guys have both been in a lot of ASLs. Not surprised that Calm won game one. I would give Calm a little bit of an edge against Harangi. You know, I haven't been impressed with Harangi's PVZ specifically. I think his PVT is pretty good. Like, he actually macros really quickly, but he hasn't shown the greatest Protoss for Zerg in any game that I can recall. So I do think Calm is a bit favored. I think Calm always was a little bit better player than Harangi. If you think back to the old days, Calm was actually quite a strong up-and-coming Zerg back in the prime of Brood War. And still pretty strong. Like, what was it? Like, last year, he did hit #1 on the ladder at some point as we were leading up to the ASL qualifiers. And I know he's been playing a lot as well. I've been hitting him on the ladder a bit here and there as well. So let's see what he has in store here. Up 1-0. He does open up with an overpool, so just kind of, you know, older school kind of safety build. Harangi scouts the wrong main base first, so probably will just throw a forge down and continue his scouting here. Oh, I tell you what, guys, it has been phenomenal casting the ASL qualifiers. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed. I have them all in a playlist, and yeah, it's been great. I've had so much fun. I feel bad because I've been casting like nonstop for like 3 days or so. Like that, it's a lot of hours to put this all together and then edit it. It's like 20 things edited together for each video and stuff. And yeah, it's been wonderful. And yeah, thank you. Please do follow my channel and make sure you follow the ASL this season. Tasteless and I will be casting all of the season's games, and it's going to be a sick one. I can't wait. I'll go over all the qualified players after we qualify this last one, as well as kind of like a bookmark to end the qualifier run, and that'll be awesome to see. Yeah, as far as numbers go, yeah, I think it's going to be slightly more Terrans than Protoss and Zerg, but I feel like Protoss and Zerg are like pretty even. Anyways, we'll count them all up at the end just to make sure. It does catch that probe pretty darn quickly. That could be a problem for Harangi. You know, obviously this could flip a switch into like a Hydralisk all-in pretty darn quickly. So you do want to be really, really careful if you lose that probe. And I don't see him trying to get another probe out, so I guess he's going to try to utilize the Zealot. He might do something like send Zealot and then send a probe. Sometimes you get the attention on the Zealot and then the probe comes out and kind of sneaks around and finds a way in. We've definitely seen a lot of Protoss players utilize tactics like that in the past. Are we going to see a Hydralisk Den? That's the big question. Well, Cybernetics Core coming up. And there it is. Yeah, I mean, you're not scouting. What do you want? You're not scouting. You got Gotta do it. All right, Stargate gets started. So, you know, the Corsair sometimes can figure this out for you. Hopefully he sees the Hydra, like, before it's halfway across the map and can try to add some cannons at that point. Hydraless speed on the way. Still some drones going to be added here as well. It is a while before the rush actually commences. One Zealot just kind of zoning that Ling out for now. Keeps a fair amount of Lings in his natural. He might be unsure whether or not there is a probe on the map somewhere. I feel like he's had enough vision to know that there's not, but yeah, see how he's spreading his Lings to run out? He's not 100% sure, especially with that Zealot kind of pushing the Zergling back. Like a probe, like I said, a lot of Protoss players use that tactic where they push out with the Zealot and then they kind of wiggle a probe around the side. But Harangi hasn't done that. Prefers to keep his economy intact, I guess. Second cannon coming up, very good. He's got Zealots plugging all the holes in the wall. Corsair's not out. And look how close the Hydras are getting. Almost halfway now. Wait, is this less drones than normal? Yeah, this is way less drones than normal. He's like going super all in here. And see, the Corsair is seeing these Hydras when they're very, very close. So normally you have 22 drones, by the way, for a Hydra, a 3-hatch Hydra. Oh, he actually got an Overlord, so that's nice. Or maybe that could have been supply. Never mind, he didn't get an Overlord. It was, he made buildings to make those. Okay, so this is deadly. He's coming right now. Harangi has already pre-pulled some probes. He knows that this is super fast, and he's not completely ready. All right, Zergling's coming in. Oh, wow, he even has Zergling speed. That's crazy, man. Calm just going for it. Not many cannons here. He didn't really pull many probes either. The cannons are doing some pretty good work overall. The Zealot actually getting a lot of damage on these Hydras. Damn, that was so close. All right. Yeah, Calm does not have a strong economy to try to get back out of this. Does he just keep going with the Hydras? Gateways being added here for Harangi. Oh, man. Really going poorly for Calm. There's a very good chance we get a game 3 between these two. I wonder what it was. I think just the fact that no probe came out. Calm decided to put all of his eggs in this basket. Because, again, normally, like, you don't see speed at that point. Like, if you open Speedling, that's a different type of game that goes into 3-hatch Hydra. Here, he got speed, like, after. Also, he was just 3 drones lighter than you normally are with the build. Like, at this point, he's actually droning up. So, like, he's trying to transition out, but it's just a little bit different from what we normally see on the rushes. Corsairs patrolling about. Yeah, the macro hatch is coming up. Like, I mean, we've seen this type of recovery many, many times in the matchup. Harangi is getting into his gateway production really quickly, though, and he's got like a really healthy probe count. I think he's going to be able to come out and apply a lot of pressure, and this is going to be a really tough game for Calm. I'm not sure if he wants to go into Spire or he wants to go into Lurker. I kind of feel like Lurker is going to be his best shot at holding on here. You can see Harangi actually banking up a good amount of gas. Going to start getting those high Templars pretty soon, I think. Lots of Hydras coming down. These are to kind of... These aren't to try to bust again. These are to catch the Zealots as they come out, I think. Oh my god, he's going to try to bust again. That's crazy. I don't think so. Wait a minute. The Zealots are all stuck. Oh my god. Are we serious here? Yeah. The Zealots literally got stuck there and their legs weren't done, and still they're going to be able to bust out through these Hydras. Yeah, well, that's why I said that these Hydras aren't to bust again. Because, like, they weren't supposed to be able to, and they didn't. So, there you have it. I think Calm is basically dead here. It's really hard to imagine him holding on. Okay, DT slipping up to the top right base. I don't see any Overlords here, unfortunately. Oh, okay, four are about to hatch, so that's good at least. But he is going to get some drones anyways. Ooh, only one. Never mind. All right. Slips it out, though. Nicely done. Good retreat. Corsair's still scouting. Harangue's putting out a really nice game. Very solid. All right, so that's a lot of Zealots. He is going to be able to deal a lot of damage here at that third base, but the Hydras do go through that smaller group of Zealots that were coming out to the north. Now, he has a lot of High Templars, so I imagine he has some Psy Storm here. Yeah. I think we just got to go to game 3. GG. All right, this is it. This is the last game to qualify the last player into ASL Season 19. We have in the top left of Deja Vu, Harangue. And in the top right, we have Calm. Yeah, I don't know what to think after that. That was a nice, solid PVZ out of Harangue. One of the better ones I've seen from him, to be honest. Like, his PVZs, normally when they stand out, it's not for great reasons, but that was very good. Very good job against Calm, who is a strong Zerg. Obviously, it's been quite a few ASLs. Now, you know, one thing I just want to talk about since we're at the beginning of the game, I don't know, like, here's the thing. I have avoided talking to anyone over the last couple days. I have not checked, like, anything, anywhere about StarCraft because I don't want to know anything about these qualifiers, right? I don't know where Rich is or if Rich even played. He has so many IDs, I could have just misidentified him. But in my opinion, he's one of the strongest Protoss in the world right now, so that's definitely something I'm going to look into. Yeah, I feel like that's the one player that we really missed out on. I didn't identify HM in any of the games either, in any of the brackets. He must have had an idea I didn't notice and not get deep enough. Maybe he did get deep, and there were a few Zergs that got deep where I'm like, I can't figure out who this is. So that could have been one of them. But yeah, there's just like a few big names where I'm like, this I really expected to see. But anyways, right now, Forge coming up. The pool almost done here for Calm. He's really microing that drone super hard, trying to get rid of the probe. Quite unsure whether he's going to make, like, sixlings or not. Okay, Harangue actually decides to make cannons before. He got up to 400 minerals, then made a cannon. That's safety right there. Only 2 lings being made. And he does start the Nexus. All right, so everything looking pretty normal overall. Looks like third hatch going to be going down. This very far away base for Calm. Not the furthest I've seen a third hatch go. But when I see it in a position like that, well, if I saw it at the bottom right, like the bottom right natural, sometimes that'll be a third base. That's not a common style anymore in ZVP. It used to be Larva and Sulky used to do that a lot, like about 6 years ago, 7 years ago. That was a very, very common way for them to expand. No one really does that anymore. Everyone just takes the very close-by base. I think when you make the base that far away, some of these Protosses with their Zealot movement and Corsair movement, it gets really tough. Even though Larva and Sulky were really good at that. But all that aside, you know, when I look at the placement of some of these hatcheries, it's like, okay, that makes it a little bit less likely to be 3-hatch Hydra, right? Because the rally distance of those Hydras will be pretty far away. So I think we're going to see a more normal game here. And, you know, the probe is being kept alive a lot longer than Harangi did in the previous game. He lost that probe last time really, really quickly. And the layer is on the way, and he did scout that, so... You never know. Occasionally someone will cancel that, but... doesn't seem super likely. In fact, he gets another scout up to it. So now he's going to feel completely confident. All right, so yeah, Stargate coming down. Zella actually entering into this third base. Kind of nice. Hide that behind the minerals. Sends one into the natural as well. Nice multitasking here from Harangi. Wow. Really good micro from Calm. Zealot will be picked off. No drones dying. So, Corsair on the way. And, and nothing really out of the ordinary still. Just one of the more standard games that we've seen. You know, I guess it is the last game of the tournament. Both players want to win this pretty darn badly. Big difference to your career if you're in ASL or not, that's for sure. So Muta's being made. Scourge as well. Well, at least one Muta. 3 Mutas and a pair of Scourge. Okay. You know, 5 is the magic number. So I'd assume he is going to make a couple more at least. Some additional cannons coming up. Yeah, Corsair's kind of centralizing in that main base. The single Muta. This is kind of funny. You don't normally actually see this. But you know what? He doesn't really have that many cannons here. I guess he got like a couple probes there, right? Oh. Okay, I think what Calm is doing here is he's showing Mutas. He's trying to be like, bye, Corsairs. I'm going to attack you. And then he attacks the mineral line. That's why he made so few. It's like 2 Scourge and 3 Mutas. No one does that, right? And then he attacks, and then you're making cannons everywhere, and you're not scouting with your Corsairs because you don't want to be ambushed by a bunch of Scourge and then have Mutas crush you. And then he just masses up Hydras and goes. I've seen this. Like, it's been a while since I've seen this build. But this is definitely a strategy that we've seen utilized in ASL before. Like, it's been quite a while, though. So this is a lot of units for 3 cannons and a small handful of Zealots to deal with. Corsairs will have to come up as well to deal with those Mutas. Oh, the DT sees it. Just the fact that he has a DT, that is amazing. I think Harangi is actually going to get himself into a nice position here. Because the DT just scouted all that. If he had turned around... The thing is, he's going for counter damage. I have to respect that. I have to respect that he's like, nope, I see this. I could reduce the unit count some. But I'd rather go for a win here by going after drones and then holding this. Dude, he is going to kill every drone at that third base. Okay, pulls back. I heard a Templar die there. Okay, Corsairs deal with those mutas in a matter of seconds. A lot of cannons are warping in. He had to send out a lot of probes here as well. But the DT killed everything at that third base. And now the Overlords are being popped in a matter of seconds. I think Harangi did it. 44 probes is fine on 2 base. He's fine. You're not afraid at all as Harangi here. How many kills? Click it, click it. 8 kills on that hero DT. Okay, this is like, I don't know what Comm can do to come back here. With that many cannons, you can literally never break the front. We already saw him do like a crazy attack the last game into the front. Okay, he's re-droning. He has an evolution chamber. Actually what I'm thinking, and this is funny because he's making cannons in his main. He has High Templars up there with some Zealots. That's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, well, how do you come back from this position? And the only thing that could pop into my mind was like maybe some sort of crazy drop. But with the amount of defense Harangi has up there, that isn't likely either. Like Harangi is making sure there is no way to beat him at this point. Very well played. Good defensive games here from Harangi. You gotta look at this and just like, all right, this guy knows how to hold. Corsairs rotating around. I think he's actually looking for the drop he's expecting. And I mean, there's a lot of overlords up there, so I would still be very suspicious of this. Observatory on the way. Dude, he's really getting everything he needs. 3 gases are mining. That's a lot of gas that he's getting right now. Oh, I think he's actually loading up for the drop. Oh, no, never mind. He's making lurkers. It looked like the cloud of units there got less, so I assumed he was, like, putting things in overlords. Okay, so a lurker contain on the high ground. Okay, you know what? I can get on board with this. This is actually a really reasonable idea, where he needs to bait Harangi into wasting his army. And it's not like a hold position type of thing. It's more like Harangi might look at that and say, oh, I don't want him to have a contain here. This is going to wreck things for me. And then maybe he thinks he might be able to clear it and goes to clear it, and then Comm wipes the army, and then suddenly we're in a real game again. Yeah, it keeps a few units over there to block any Zealot runarounds. You know what? He just got rid of every single Corsair. Those were kind of badly wasted. We could see a switch into mutas. There's 1,000 gas in the bank right now and 1,000 minerals. So if he remakes his overlords, like, he can actually make a big group of mutas here as well. That is a real possibility. There are not that many Dragoons here. That would be hilarious if he goes like Lurker Muta. But he's been on 3 gas forever. He does have a 4th base in the bottom right now. Nothing there, though. You could actually do a pretty decent job sniping High Templars against this army. I'm really excited to see. His gas just disappeared. Oh, it's all Lurkers. Look at that. A huge mass of Lurker eggs. Well, those are some very good size storms as Harangi tries to break out. A lot of stacked up lurkers here. Very clumped up, rather. Runs forward with them. Some really, really good size storms, but it does seem like Comm is going to be able to kill off the majority of this army. Hey, did this tactic actually work? Set up a contain and hope that Harangi throws his army into it. Feels like it might have, actually. Don't forget, Calm does not have a huge economy behind this. Like, he's got an okay drone count and 3 base. 4th base still not mining, and he's going to kill just about everything except a few Dragoons here. Now, a lot of lurkers were spent. Harangi is up 20 supply right now. But, of course, you're kind of supposed to be with Protoss. Yeah, I don't think that's enough lurkers right now. With this, the Zealots are actually a great add to this army. Much more useful than anything else would be. It's using this hatch as a macro hatch. All right, well, this is a very important battle here. He's got to clear all these lurkers out, and in fact, I think he will. The Zealots are going to kill the lurkers, and only a few Hydras remain. The Zealot's going to get on top of those as well. Harangi is taking a 3rd base. Okay, loses the Observer. That could be a little bit of a problem, but Harangi is now up like 25 supply instead of the 20 from before. Good snipe on the Observer again. Oh, really good size storm. Those Hydras almost evaporated. All right, tries to run in with a little bit of pressure there. Not gonna find any results. He doesn't have a lot of High Templars. Could this be a moment to switch back into a more Hydra-heavy approach? Like, less about the lurkers. Harangi does need that 3rd base up. This is actually kind of crazy. I could absolutely see this going either way right now. Like, Harangi's army is not very good, but Calm's economy is not very good. Ooh, good storm goes down there. The Zealot's going to be very, very powerful here as well. Flanks with the Zealot from the top. Okay, crushes that army that came down. Another group of Hydras rotating around. Oh my god, that's a lot of Hydras. If he doesn't get some storms off pretty quickly, the Hydras can kill everything here without storm support. Okay, that was a pretty good storm. That was a pretty good storm. Still has a good amount of goons there. He needs a lot of units rallying out right now, though, and he needs another storm as well. That does not have a storm. It gets picked off really quickly. Uh-oh. Oh, my God. Calm's going to do it. Calm is going to bring it. I thought Harangi was going to end up winning this game. Oh, what a heartbreaker. What a heartbreaker there for Harangi. And Calm will be our last player qualifying for the ASL. All right, guys, here you have it. Here is your final qualification list for the ASL Season 19. So basically, we had the top 16 seeds, which were able to go through from the last season. They got the top, the top 4 from last season. Rain, Snow, Sharp, Sulky. Then we had SCS Spring, which is actually ACS again because we switch it back to ASL. And that's True there. Goes by alone right now. And then we have from the online qualifiers, day number 1, Best Bisu Mini, Barracks Mind, Royal Rush, Speed Sock, Action, Jaedong 0. And from day 2, we have Hero, aka YSC, aka Tulbo. Then we have Shuttle, Stork Tyson, Light Scan Skay, Calm, Hero, Hyun, and Killer. And this is the most balanced ASL that we have literally ever had. 9 Protoss, 10 Terran, 9 Zerg. Literally could not be better than that. Wow. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please do subscribe. Spread the word about ASL. It's going to be a wonderful season. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.